Good morning, Raptor freaks. Lexiot's here, and it is Wednesday, and the Raptors beat the Chicago Bulls at United Center last night in a fairly contested, close game. Both teams did play their starters for the most part. We were at a disadvantage because they had the Vucevic advantage at center, and it did mess us up for a while in the game. But I really felt like our team is very fun to watch this year. It's very interesting what's happening with our team. And for some reason, even though we're trying to figure things out, we're like a little baby deer trying to learn how to walk on its legs, we're winning. And I'm excited about this. There was something very specific that Darko did last night that really, really impressed me, super impressed me, something that Nick never, ever wouldn't have done. And that is played the bench to close the game out. I like what he did. He kind of separated the starters and where they were at from bringing in those bench guys afterwards. When he pulled the starters in the full fourth quarter, they were up by 6 or 8 points or something like that. And they had done their job and they'd look good. And I was like, okay, they're taking them out. And they brought in the bench to allow them the chance to play meaningful minutes in a competitive game where it mattered. And they had the chance of success or failure. And I like that gamble that he took because in some ways, this is the development gambles you need to take. And in some ways, this is a preseason game. Who cares if you win or not? In some ways, if Darko was trying to play to win, of course, he probably would have played his starters all the way almost to the end of the game. So I like what he did there. He really showed some trust in the bench unit at the end, and they didn't screw it up. They ended up closing it out and playing right and ended up winning by 4 points. So I really, really impressed in a couple different ways with different things happening. Impressed with our coach, impressed with the bench, closing the game out right, and impressed with our starters even with different things that they did. Just good stuff happening. Of course, we'll get into it. Whatever you guys want to react to about the win last night, put it in the comments. I'll read all the comments, and we'll go through a nice reaction to a great Raptors win in preseason 3-0. One more game to go. Friday night, Washington Wizards here in Toronto. Yeah, I love it. I love it so much. It was a very entertaining game, and I'm sure a lot of you guys had a lot of fun watching it. There's all kinds of little things I want to bring up about it. Really fun stuff. Cowboys first and in this morning. Good to see Bradley. Good morning, Lex. Bam, in the Raptor Freaks. Do you smell what Darko is cooking? Yeah. He's cooking up some SmackDown hotel visits for teams around the league is what he's cooking, Bradley. Yeah, he's got a couple of hotel reservations down to SmackDown Lane Jabroni Avenue. Yeah, this is what it's sounding like right here. Yeah, good job. And let's go is what Bradley's saying. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Darko's got some interesting things cooking. And one of the cool things is, once again, we see how important Jakob is. You guys that think Jakob was a waste and we lost a pick, ESPN people think this. Y'all are idiots. We need a center. We need a center. And it was very evident. In fact, Chicago could have beat us over the head with Vucevic last night, and they may have won the game. But there were times when he was beating us over the head and using that size against people like Chris Boucher, and it hurt. But for the most part, that wasn't the factor that won the game for anybody. And thank goodness, because the absence of Yak was felt last night. And anybody who thinks that getting him and doing what we did with him with the contract this year was folly, you're an idiot. Because honestly, this is a look we're going to see a lot during the season. And we saw it last year, and it hurt us in the beginning of the season before we had Jakob. So, it's still something that matters. Having somebody go eye to eye, match up face to face with somebody like Nikola Vucevic matters. And Jakob Poeltl is that guy for us. So, yeah, his absence was felt. Let's just put it that way. Monique is here. Good to see the super fan, Monique Lawrence. Always happy to see her presence in the chat. Good morning, Raptor Freak family. Warriors can have Malachi. Great win. 6 stars of the game. Pascal, Scottie, Gary, Dennis, Mo, and the bench. And she's not talking about herself. She's talking about Mo Gee. Yeah. You know what? Our stars look very similar. I'm going to say this right now. I don't know how if you saw my sheet or something like that, Monique. But if I do my 5 stars, I might as well do them right now since you brought them up. And it's interesting that you're saying that the Warriors can have Malachi. That's funny. That's funny. All right, my 5 stars are number 1 star is Scottie Wayne Barnes. Scottie was incredible. In fact, I'm telling y'all saw some of the ways he can be overpowering in this game. Some of it's just on pure effort. Pure effort. He hit the ground to get that loose ball. That was indicative of pure effort. It's a preseason. This man does not need to be hitting the court like that, but he cares. He really, really cares. And you can tell by the way he scrambled after that ball. And then a lot of really interesting things with Scottie getting his own miss, following his shot and knowing where he's going to bounce and going right to it and being undenied. He cannot be denied. He goes in there and he puts it back in. So there was some real dominance shown by Scott with those offensive rebound putbacks where he didn't give up, getting on the floor. And then he had a wide open three that they dared him to shoot at the top of the key, and he swished it like it was nothing. So yeah, Scott's coming. Scott's coming. And his stat line shows it last night. He's definitely my number 1 star of the game. 22 points on 8 of 14 shooting. He hit 2 threes, which is absolutely fantastic. He hit all 4 of his free throws. And that was a big deal because they were doing some funny stuff in that arena last night. We were saying, oh, DeMar DeRozan's not allowed to come to the game anymore and do that anymore. Well, everybody else's little daughter is, though, in Chicago, and they want to be the next little DeMar DeRozan. Every time we shot free throws last night, there was a screeching section that sounded like a whole chorus of them. In some ways, that's not as bad as the singular blood-curdling scream of DR. And a whole chorus of them sounds just like crowd noise. But still, they were trying to mess us up at the free throw line last night. And overall, the Raptors did a good job of making those free throws. I know Scott in particular was like, I'm nailing these free throws against Chicago. And he did. 4 for 4. That is a good sign. I'm going to be checking who made what on free throws today for sure. Since it's such a big deal to the press. Oh my gosh, the free throws against the Bulls. Scottie stat stuffing last night too, man. He was getting everything across the board. 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 4 blocks. That's a huge thing right there. That man at one point said, "Get that shit out of here." He said it so loud you could hear it on the broadcast. He blocked somebody, and he said, "Get that shit out of here," and you could hear him say that. I loved it. There was a lot of overpowering cool stuff. And I'm telling you, this is part of it. Scott just has to learn the game and be more in tune with the flow of the game. And he's going to do crazy, amazing things that add up to winning basketball for us. He had his hand in a bit of everything last night, whether it's him finishing plays, him setting up plays, him making threes, him getting dunks, him getting steals, him getting blocks. Yeah, he was doing it all. He was doing it all last night and at a very efficient level. We can't say that his turnovers were a problem last night, because he only had 2. And I'll take that 3 to 2 assist turnover ratio, plus 11 for Scott. The number 2 star is Siakam. We got the 2 top guys getting the top 2 stars, and Siakam was fantastic too. He really picked his spots, and he found an easy way to get to 22. In some ways, Siakam got his easiest 22 he's gotten in the last 2 years playing for the Raptors, because in some ways he's not the focal point. He's just finding them through discovery in the game flow. And 8 of 11 from the field is a fantastic shooting percentage. Once again, both are top stars shooting a very high percentage, which is great. We don't want to see low efficiency by high volume with not many shots made. So this is good. He also made 2 threes, and they look very, very nice. He stepped into them and very confident. Really, really good shots by him. 4 of 6 from the free throw line. There were a couple that he wishes he had missed. I know he was counting that too, just like Scottie. But, Siakam sometimes has concentration problems at the free throw line. 5 rebounds, 3 steals. He did have 4 turnovers, but 22 points in 31 minutes. Siakam was fantastic. And the big story coming out of the game last night is that these guys can coexist. That these guys actually work really well together from what it looked like last night. In fact, them setting each other up and doing different things in those kind of ways. I love the free-flowing Darko offensive system. And Siakam is cream, and he will rise to the top. And quality will get those touches and look real good there. In fact, we saw Siakam doing some of his little bag of tricks, little spin moves away from guys to make easy layups. Just his unstoppableness has not gone away. So, yeah, I really commend our two superstars holding it down and a very balanced attack between the two of them. My third star of the game last night is Gary Trent Jr. He was really, really good early, but he tailed off later and wasn't as good in the second half. It was really after he got blocked by Torrey Craig on that breakaway dunk. He just wasn't the same player out there. I don't know if that rattled him or what. That was really annoying. In some ways, it looked like a dirty play. I'm really sick of people coming at Gary when he's in fast break and trying to undercut him or block him or do stuff like that. It was a clean block, and he did get him. Some of it looked like it hit the rim, though. But in some ways, I don't like it for injury concerns. This is really dirty. In the old NBA, you let guys just go up and do their thing. But people coming at people like that in the air is not safe. Is not safe. Now, Gary had a very impressive first half. In fact, that is what I'm basing most of this on. He was 4 for 10 in the game, 3 of 6 from 3, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, and 11 points. Now, the real reason I'm really big high on his stat line is the 4 assists. We saw Gary throw an amazing lob to Siakam in transition. He was looking for people also. So when Gary gets 4 assists, which is the most he's gotten in a while, eyes open up and take notice of that. So he was sharing and he was getting his at the same time. And I can't hate that. So, Gary, good game last night. In some ways, you were better in the first half. And in the second half, you seemed a little rattled after that block shot because you're missing your shot afterwards. But 4 of 10, I'll take it. And 3 of 6. Dennis Schroeder is my fourth star because he was just solid all around. Once again, another player letting the game flow to him and just kind of like doing what within himself what he can do in the game. 4 of 10 also, same as Gary, 12 points for Schroeder. He was 1 of 4 from 3. He did miss 1 free throw, but 3 of 4. 4 rebounds, 4 assists. That's another stat stuffing right there. You know, Schroeder's getting 4 rebounds as the point guard. That's a big deal. But yeah, just a solid game by Dennis. And we saw leadership and different things by him. He's really having a big impact on us. And I like it. I like it a lot. You see the difference in the way he is on defense from last year's guy. You see the difference in how he's looking for other people and keeping the pace up on the court. And just in general, he's just a great glue guy. I've seen people comment from Lakers Nation recently that part of the secret key to the Lakers' success in the second half of the season last year after the trade deadline wasn't just the moves of getting people like Vanderbilt and Rui Hachimura. It was also that Dennis Schroeder on the down low was doing his leadership thing for the Lakers and really cultivating good vibes for them. In some ways, the Laker Nation really, really misses Dennis this year because this is something he has as an intangible that really helped them to be a positive, like not toxic dumpster fire kind of team that they have been in recent years. So this is an effect that Dennis has. We're seeing it on social media with them bonding. We see Dennis drop another. He's doing the game day vlogs. So expect one out today about last night. He posted something about the Carnes Taipans game yesterday and was absolutely fantastic. You see his like preparation, him talking about the game. He was super impressed with the sellout preseason crowd for an NBL team. I'm telling you, he's saying something like, I've never seen this before. I knew those guys were impressed when I was at the game because I could tell. It was like, these guys, this isn't normal for a preseason game, especially against an Australian team. And it's not really a marquee matchup or anything. And Dennis took note of that. He did because he said it in his content yesterday. It was like, this is preseason. This is sold out. And this is a crazy hyped crowd. He really liked that. He's like, this is going to be fun playing in Toronto is what he said on his clip. He's like, this is going to be fun. I can tell this crowd is awesome. So, man, I love it so much. Y'all definitely follow Dennis Schroeder's YouTube account because he has really awesome open gym type content coming out all the time. All the time. In fact, I'm expecting something today. He told us he'd have something coming out today about the Chicago game last night. So be ready for that. My fifth and last star is Mogi. And listen, the reason why is this man really kind of helped us win the game last night. He only had 6 minutes. He was like two of the guys that got in at the end of the game that were above the 10-man rotation that Darko likes to use. Mogi and Javon Freeman Liberty getting in late and having key moments in the game. But Mogi's my fifth star because he got 5 points in 6 minutes, very prolific scoring in the short time that he was out there, hitting his only shot he took, making 3 out of 4 free throws at the free throw line, getting a rebound and a block in 6 minutes of crunch time at the end of the game. Mogi was stellar, especially with that nice run-through dunk that he got passed to him, running through the lane. Very, very good stuff by that bench, holding it down. So, yeah, there's my 5 stars of the game. There's other players we don't talk about. Of course, we'll probably talk about Malachi at some time very soon, and also Grady Dick. Very, very good stuff from the team overall and a winning effort and winning by just 4 points. A close game last night. The Raptors winning, though. I love it. I love it. I love it. Mo, we had the same stars. And I didn't know you were going to say that, and you didn't know I was going to say that either. So it was pretty definitive. Mo's also saying undefeated, 1-2 punch are ready for the season. That's right. Siakam and Barnes. It's not a law firm. It's a firm of guys that are going to come and beat your ass this year, NBA teams. So be ready. Yeah, ESPN's coming up with all kinds of weird new rankings on their website to slight us. They've got one, it's called the watchability rankings. It's so stupid. They call it the NBA League Pass watchability, and they have us like the 3rd worst team to watch in this league. I think they're sadly mistaken. Once again, y'all sleep on our highlights and just how athletic and amazing and fun our team is to watch. Okay, go ahead and tell them not to watch us in the States with your propaganda, Kevin Pelleton. But honestly, you're really kind of doing a disservice to your readers when you tell them not to watch the Raptors, because it's going to be fun to watch us. The watchability factor for us this season has gone out the roof compared to Nick Nurse coaching our team. So go ahead, mislead the Americans and tell them we're not worth watching. That's fine. Keep them sleeping. They don't need to know what we're doing up here until it's too late. But honestly, if you're a smart American and you do want to watch good basketball, watch the Raptors this year. We're going to be a joy to watch. Scott Barnes in particular, you're going to enjoy watching him. Watch, yeah, seriously. They got another rankings that came out this morning that's absolutely stupid too. And they've got us like in the bottom 5 once again. It's future power ranking projections. And they're trying to look at the future for us. And they're saying our future is really dark. And is like one of the bottom 4 futures for all the NBA teams. I don't know why y'all just make this shit up like this. Zach Lowe, Kevin Pelleton, your stupid ass fucking dumbass rankings that you just need to make up. Whatever, y'all. Y'all keep sullying us. Y'all keep putting us down. We'll keep proving you wrong. And yeah, you will go ahead and see who's doing what in the future with power rankings. Kevin Pelleton, you fucking dumbass. And Zach Lowe, how dare you mislead the American public that we're not watchable. That is not true, y'all. That is not true at all. All right, let's see. Isaac Campbell's here. Let's grow. That's right. Benevolent Isaac Campbell holding it down in Ottawa, the nation's capital here in Canada. We love you, Isaac. All right, Trevor's here too. Good morning, Raptors family. Good morning to the commissioner, Trevor J. Let's see the Commissioner's Cup, the Trevor J Cup, going to the winner of the in-season tournament. It's like, what is this, a frivolous cup, Lex? I don't know. Is the in-season tournament frivolous? I don't know. We'll find out. But we got this. It's the Trevor J Cup, and it's going to one of the lucky Raptor freaks that wins our in-season tournament contest. That's right. So there you go. We'll just put it right back there, right by the red light. That's right. Put on a red light. Yeah. Tom Dukey is here. Tom Duke holding it down in Victoria, British Columbia. Good morning, Raptor Freak family. I am sure Darko has a schedule for things. Evaluation of players will take a few games, right? Not just these 3 games. When will cuts happen, or when do they have to happen? Okay. All right. This is a good question, Tom. Let me parse it out and break it down. Yeah, there's a schedule, natural order of things with training camp, and then usually it has to be after the preseason games. On a rare occasion, a team will decide they really don't need somebody, and they'll cut them before the preseason games end. But that's really when they've very much made their decision up. I don't expect anything about this stuff to happen until Saturday. Saturday may be the day they get it all done right away. Friday's our last preseason game, and to get us oriented and ready for Wednesday against the Timberwolves next week, they'll probably cut people on Saturday morning. Now, they have between Saturday till Tuesday to do the cuts, so it could be as late as Tuesday or Wednesday they make the cuts also. So I expect the Raptors, since they're the way they usually do things, to make the cuts on Saturday. So Tommy, that's probably what around when it will happen. So we got one more game, play Washington on Friday night here at Scotiabank Arena, and then probably Saturday things will be happening. Just so you know. Let's see. Trevor's saying for everyone who thought Pascal should get treated, what you have to traded. Oh my gosh! For everyone who thought Pascal should get treated, so everyone who thought Pascal should get traded, what you have to say now? What do you have to say now? He is the best player we have, and he and Scottie can play together. There you go. I like it. That's right, Commissioner J. And people are still saying this kind of bullshit. I mean, they're in some ways people are just saying stupid shit all around, everywhere, anyway. Like seriously, some people start their whole thing is like, I watched this game last night and I can't be mad at it. Well, wait a second. If you're writing that you can't be mad at it, are you looking to be mad at Raptor games just normally? Like seriously. Like, what's your default, Raptors fans, when you say, I can't be mad at this game? Well, that gives away that you want to get mad at Raptor games. Like, seriously, that's a tell. That's a tell right there. It's like, I can't be mad at this game. Well, wait, what kind of fan are you? Are you just trying to be mad at the game? Okay, this is great. You can't be mad at this game. Seriously, watch how you phrase things, y'all, because you will give away your true intentions. So any fan who's saying something like, I can't be mad at this game on Twitter today, y'all aren't real fans. Why are you looking to be mad first? Why don't you look to be happy about the good things that are happening instead? Oh my gosh, I couldn't believe that. It was like crazy. Yeah, Trevor's saying also Malachi pulled a Fred move, almost cost the game by taking a bad shot. Yeah, Malachi had some missteps late in the game. We, in some ways, won despite him. I feel bad because look, he's had I will describe this. He's had a good, a bad, and the ugly games. Yeah, that's kind of what he's had in the 3 games so far this preseason. He had the good game last game against Carnes Taipans, the Australian team. He had a bad game in the first game, and now he's had an ugly game. This was an ugly game last night to me. Seriously. Malachi was playing 20 minutes last night. He only scored 2 points. Now, if you're supposed to be a scorer for us, Malachi, you need to score, bro. 0 for 7 from the field, 0 for 3 from 3. The 2 points you made were at the free throw line. 7 rebounds. I like that. 3 assists, 2 steals, and a block. Only 1 turnover. Still, that's pretty pathetic. Honestly, I feel like we could get better production out of Jeffrey Dowtin Jr. once again. I don't know. This could be also a thing. It's like if Malachi, I know it seems like I was saying he's part of the long term, but also sometimes you overplay guys in the beginning in the preseason because you want to look at them and then you're like, okay, we saw enough. You didn't make it. You're cut. I don't know. In some ways, I get why y'all are saying Malachi this, Malachi that, because in some ways he's failing. He fails when his opportunities come up. And I hate that. I hate that so much. You should be doing better, Malachi. This game last night, you were the worst player for the Raptors last night. That's very clear. That was very, very clear last night that you were the worst player for us. Monique is saying, Dennis letting us know the whole scoop about the squad. Wow, 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 wow. In his newest video. Do I ever love it? Dennis definitely wanted to bring out the boxing gloves. Yes, yes, and yes. All right, this is cool. We'll talk more about Dennis real quick here. Dennis was very interesting on his YouTube drop yesterday. He's talking very candidly about his assessment of the Raptors so far from training camp and his whole perspective of being an NBA pro and what he's seen in it already. He said, listen, we've got a really good defense. This is the thing he's saying right now. It's like, this may be one of the best defensive teams I've ever been on, is what Schroeder's kind of giving vibes off of. And then he said, look, we get our things together. Darko has this philosophy. We come in every day, give 110%, and we build, we progress. Everything we do, we put 110% into it, and we move to the next thing, and we keep trying to improve and improve. And the whole idea is to build the team's chemistry and connectivity and the way they play together up, so that when it comes around to April and March and May, that they are playing at a super high level and they're just kicking ass. And this is the way you want to grow a basketball team over the season, is to allow for development and growth and connectivity and good things to happen. And Dennis was describing the process of this in his YouTube yesterday and what he sees the potential for the Raptors to be this year. You know, he honestly does think we can win a championship this year. I mean, he said that. He said we want to go to the playoffs and do our best and go as far as we can. That's what I'm saying. Don't limit yourself with your mind. These guys are wide open and ready to let destiny come across them and see how sweet it can be, is what I'm saying right now. Yeah. I love the part with Dennis getting feisty in the game last night. I think that was awesome. Some people pointed out it's Dennis standing up for OG, a man that he fought with a couple of years ago in the game. Well, now Dennis is ready to throw arms, throw hands for OG. Kobe White being a little punk ass bitch, as normal. Kobe White is always kind of like that. And a little bit of extra contact. And Dennis basically did his whole thing like he did with his German coach. It's like, no, you're not doing that. No, you're not. And he kind of set things straight, but he did it in the right way as an NBA vet. Now, I didn't agree with the call by Guthrie and his crew. They gave him double technicals. And in some ways, this thing kind of warranted them going back and watching the film. You know, they do it so much already anyway, and they had an extended film watching period last night for a second. If y'all had gone back and watched the tape and you would have seen Kobe White's dirty shots, then I don't know. I didn't agree with them giving a double tech. I think it should have been just a tech on Kobe White, but I get it. It's Dennis who got in his face, and that's the reason why he gets a tech too. But there was some real bullshit with the calls last night. There was some very much not favoring towards us. We went to the line way more than them, but in some ways there were a lot of non-calls they were calling, especially with the Bulls slapping the shit out of us and not getting any foul calls. They were allowed to hit us like crazy, and they weren't getting called on them. But we did get to the line a lot, and we got way more free throws, and that is a big reason why we won last night, was getting into the paint, getting contact initiated, and getting free throws won us the game last night. So there was a lot of physicality let go by the refs in the game last night, especially by the Bulls slapping people on the arms. And, there was stuff that we were trying to do that was getting called ticky-tack and bullshit. A particular Chris Boucher got some very early fouls, which put him out of the game immediately almost. And, I like the fact that he didn't try and leave him out there to get the third foul. He put that in very quickly at the beginning of the game. So I didn't like the referees last night. They were against us. They were definitely against us, and they weren't being totally fair. They were helping Chicago to a degree. And then you add in, we were in United Center, and there were the screeching DeMar DeRozan wannabes sitting in the crowd also. That was a tough game to win to a degree because the refs weren't on our side. There was a hostile environment. We used our bench to win. We have a brand new rookie coach. Yeah, winning against odds is basically what I'm talking about right now. That winning against odds. In some ways, the Nick Nurse way that he coached us in the play-in would not have won the game last night. No, it would not. It would not have won the game for us last night. So, yeah, very, very interesting stuff. Dennis, I love seeing you stand up for our guy, and you didn't get ejected like Dillon Brooks or Patrick Beverley. If you're going to be that guy for us, you got to toe that line. And you could be a little bit of Dillon Brooks, a little bit of Patrick Beverley, but don't be it too much where it hurts the team. In fact, he did that, and then he was not a problem for the rest of the game where he was going to be in trouble and get kicked out of the game. But yeah, I like him standing up for our team. Dennis is a no-nonsense kind of guy, and I really appreciate him for that. G saying Drummond got blocked by the rim. Wasn't that embarrassing? They're really pushing that Gary Trent block on NBA official accounts right now. They love Torrey Craig blocking the shit out of Gary Trent right now. Well, y'all keep putting that Andre Drummond block dunk, that messed up dunk he did. That's going straight to Shaquille. You know that is. You know that dunk is going straight to Shaqtin' a Fool, and as it should. That was ridiculous. Honestly, seriously, you should be embarrassed with yourself, Andre Drummond. He was cocky about it too. And he's like, "Oh, I got this," and then he hit the front of the rim. Classic gold. And as Alvin Williams would say, the basketball gods don't lie. That's right. You get cocky, you get a little too sure. Remember, you got a lot of weight to get up there, Andre. You better make sure you got that height. Ah, man, that was so good. He was being a bully last night, too. And he was a big factor in why we need Jakob Poeltl out there, too. You saw how he's pushing Chris around real easy. Nobody could guard him or Vucevic for us last night, and we still won. That's pretty damn incredible. Seriously, because they had a huge advantage over us, and they didn't utilize it. They really didn't. It was crazy. Trevor J. saying, today, never put emotions and anger together as a couple because the two is very toxic because they will end in disaster. You know, one of the best things that I ever got as advice, thank you for your words of wisdom, Trevor, is to when things happen, don't react in the moment. You know, in some ways, you give that moment more power when you have an emotional reaction to it right then. Some ways, if you just hold your cards to your chest and let it, like, you know, you take it in, you don't deny it, but you take the moment in, but you don't let your reaction be a part of the moment also. You really can master that moment. Then you can handle the worst kind of shit in the best way, and your reaction won't make it worse. So, yeah, having control of your emotions in really bad situations is a smart trait to have because you may make a bad situation worse if you don't. And sometimes if you do it, you actually save yourself a lot of grief. Seriously. So that's a really good thing. Don't react. Seriously. Take it all in and make a plan and make a decision and do something about it. But when you're like in a better place, sometimes that's better. Yeah. All right. Let's keep going with the chat, y'all. Happy to see y'all coming in here celebrating a great Raptors victory over the Bulls on their home court last night in Chicago. Very, very good stuff seen on the court. I want to know what you guys saw too. So let me know. Cowboys saying alley-oop to Monique. All right. You want me to throw an alley-oop to Monique? And Scottie and Spicy are monsters. Let's grow. Yes, Bradley. Always so enthusiastic. We love you, Bradley. Most saying, anyone catch the new premiere of Open Gym on TSN? I love the intro. I have not seen it. If they have not dropped it on YouTube or what, I haven't seen it yet. So I'll probably, hopefully, try and find it today. Cowboys saying, I pray for Koloko. He would be a beast and get a lot of chances under Darko. Game over if Koloko's back. Yeah, I'm wondering about it. He was there. We saw Koloko on the bench wearing sweats, and he was there. So in some ways, it makes me wonder if he's got a respiratory problem. It may not be chronic or like contagious. It could be like it's something that is just something in his, it's like a lung breathing thing and not really like a cold or a pneumonia or anything like weird like that. Because that in some ways, it can't be a cold or a pneumonia for 4 months. You know, he's had this since June or something. And in some ways, it's like, what the fuck is it? Now he's at the bench and he's standing there with the guys and he traveled with them to Chicago. Jakob didn't travel to Chicago because he was sick. He stayed here in Toronto, but Christian went and he was there. So I'm really trying to figure this out about respiratory issue. He's got his respiratory issue allows him to be here. He's not contagious, obviously. We got to figure this out with Koloko. What's going on here? Yeah, Cowboys saying, watch out, NBA. Scottie is coming. He is. Oh, yeah, he is. And you see the beast that he is around the basket. I'm telling y'all. That's why I'm saying the easy fruit for us to pick with him is near the basket. That man can do whatever he wants in the paint. And he was showing more of it last night. And in some ways, the gumption of him on defense is so fantastic right now. That's the thing. Scottie can make any type of winning play to help the Raptors win, whether it's a steal, a block, or scoring big baskets. So, yeah, I'm excited about seeing Scott more and more with this new drive and this new will and this new powers in him. He has new powers, and he's ready to put them on people and win through them. Yeah. Top saying, good morning, Raptors family. I have to start by saying I'm enjoying the new style of Raptors ball. Pascal scored an easy 22. I know. That's what I was saying earlier. This is maybe the easiest 22 he's ever scored. We've seen him in recent years have up and down scoring at the beginning of the year. Like we'll see him get like a big game, like almost 30 points, but then he'll have like an 8-point game the next game after that. In some ways, the system that Darko has is more conducive for Siakam to not have drop-off games because he's not such a focal point. In some ways, he can sneak in and get easier points for him because he's not keyed on so much by the other defense. So this will be good. This will be really good. I think he's going to have, like he said, his legs are going to be happier this year because he's not going to have to do so much work. He's not going to have to play so many minutes. He's not going to have to carry us so much. And it's such a good development. It really is. It's the one we wanted last year, and he's still going to look good. He's still going to have amazing stats, and he's going to get a lot of good stuff happening, but less tired, less worn out. And it'll be better for him for the whole entire year. And think about it around playoff time. He will be in better shape. Watch, he will be. Dana saying, good morning, everyone. Good morning to you, Canadian Dana. Always happy to see you in the chat. And Kareem saying, honestly, I'm hoping they are giving a last-ditch effort to Malachi because we can all see with our two eyes that Dowtin is the man for that spot. I hope this organization doesn't fumble this one. You know, in some ways, I think you're right. Like, that could be why they're going so heavy on him in the preseason, that there's like, this is your last-ditch chance. You got to do it now, Malachi, and if you don't show it. And last night, he wasn't showing it. And the fans really know this. They can tell this. And in some ways, we get it. He can shoot. But what the fuck? He can't shoot in the game, though. He can shoot every other time. He can shoot in practice. He can shoot at Pro-Am. He can shoot at this point and with his cousins down at the park. He can't fucking shoot during the game, though. And that's the thing I'm wondering about. 0 for 7. Come on, man. Come on. Seriously, especially in this Darko getting his easiest shots for everybody kind of system. He's still 0 for 7. This is a really bad look. Seriously, really bad look. I agree with everything Kareem's saying here, and I hope it's right, but I sadly don't think it is. I really don't think it is. I think Jeffrey is going to be the one who gets cut, and that Malachi's already been shown that he's investment for the future already. In some ways, I get it because he does certain things point guard wise that are really good, and they're not. But I just wish shooting was one of them. They really should be. Like he described his what he's supposed to be doing out there the other day in his interview. He said, I'm dependent on for shooting. Okay, you said it yourself that shooting is the most important thing that we need from you, and you don't fucking shoot. You shoot 0 for 7 last night. What the fuck, man? Come on. Come on, dude. It's kind of like we're getting false advertising. It's like we could sue your company for false advertising. What are you supposed to be doing, Malachi? Making threes, making open shots. And you're not doing that. You need to learn from Dennis. Seriously. Look at what Dennis did last night with his shots and his layups. You see how he changes pace to get to the basket? You can do that stuff. I've seen you do that. You need to get with Dennis and learn more from him. Because honestly, if you played more like Dennis, you'd be better. Picking your spots and making your shots is what I'm saying right here. Yeah. Duke's saying most athletic Raptors team by far. 2023, 2024. Mogi is pretty impressive. You know, Duke's right. If you think about it all the way down to the 21st player maker, this is a damn athletic, crazy talented team. Really, really, really athletic. And Jason is exactly right. Jason, our Raptor Freak fantasy champion from last year. And can you beat Jason? I see Jason made a move this morning in our fantasy league. He has dropped Chris Dunn for TJ McConnell this morning at around 7:42 a.m. I see that people are dropping and picking up Kevin Porter, who, of course, just got traded to the Oklahoma City Thunder to get waived. He's not going to be playing. So whoever picked him up, maybe you can stash him on your injury reserve. But in some ways, he's going the way of Miles Bridges this season. The way NBA is handling Miles Bridges right now is disgusting. You cannot act like he was playing last year for a suspension. He did not play last year. So suspension needs to be coming at the beginning of this year. He wasn't under contract last year. So y'all trying to pull some fast ones with Miles Bridges right now. Honestly, it's crazy. But yeah, I agree with you, Duke. And part of the reason why this is the most athletic Raptor team ever is because it's athletic all the way down to 21. In some ways, sometimes those ones that are at the end aren't the most talented or athletic. Well, we've got some really talented athletic guys in the 20 and 21 spot with Mogi and Maker. Yeah. Cowboys saying Darko is that guy. Yeah, steady. The way he's coaching the game is engaged. We're seeing a little bit more of his demeanor with the refs. In fact, the person that's getting on the refs the most is Scottie. Scottie, once again, doing his little thing where he's like, wah, wah, doing a lot of that last night. And warranted because they weren't really respecting us in certain ways. But also at the same time, once again, Scott, don't let you turn in and complain to the ref get in the way of you getting back on your assignments. So it's okay. In some ways, you need to be politicking. I get it, but don't rub them the wrong way. David Guthrie was kind of a punk ass last night, for sure. For sure. Twardowski, yeah, he was a punk ass. But we played through it and we overcame it and we won despite it. So in some ways, that's the only way we can be. The refs are not going to change. In some ways, you got to just overcome them and factor them in as part of the equation to overcome to get that W. So yeah, there was a bit of that. And Darko, I didn't really see him going at the refs in certain ways. He had one challenge. He's trying to save Chris from fouling out. And in some ways, that call was bullshit. Guthrie, you're full of shit for calling that foul on Chris. You're saying that his arm grabbed Drummond. Come on, man. It's like, what? Look at these two guys' bodies. Drummond is like pushing into him with his shoulder and coming up into him. And Chris is just kind of long and he's laying over him. That wasn't a foul on Chris. And him fouling out was so quickly in the game last night, that was messed up. In some ways, that was like a hit job on Chris in the fact that he was our starting center playing against Vucevic and he was totally physically overmatched. So it's like, whatever. Chris fouls out in 12 minutes last night or something like that. He fouled out in 13 minutes. That doesn't very often happen. And there was a bias against Chris Boucher last night. There definitely was. Definitely was. Yeah. Cowboys got the egg on the skillet. I love it. Top saying at this point, they have to cut or trade Flynn. He's wasting a roster spot. He's just not good at basketball. Free Jeff Dowtin, please. I mean, this is a popular sentiment. Listen, Masai and Bobby and Teresa. Listen to the fans. Seriously, we don't like Malachi at this point. He's annoying. It's like, I know y'all have invested a lot in him to be the next point guard, but we just don't see it, y'all. And in some ways, this is the same thing we said the last couple of off seasons going into the season with training camp. Can y'all just cut Malachi, please? It's just like, listen, the dude in some ways comes from the lineage of Fred and Kyle. I don't care about that anymore. Fred and Kyle's lineage is over. Fuck that shit. We got a new lineage, and it's Scottie Barnes' lineage. And in some ways, I don't care about having Malachi around in any kind of way. I'd much prefer Jeffrey Dowtin Jr. So, yeah, a lot of us are saying this right now. We're just sick of this shit. I said this like 2 years ago. It's like, we don't need Malachi. He's not playing that good. He's not that great. Cool Cat saying, good morning, Raptor Free Crew. We are in desperate need of a center. Having both of our centers out shows our vulnerability. Yeah, we had really kind of three centers out. You know, Precious, Koloko, and Jakob are three main centers out. And Thaddeus and Chris are supposed to be our centers. Yeah, this is where Cool Cat and I's worry about not having depth at center exposed in this game last night. I've said this before. I want three legitimate centers, and I don't want Precious to be counted as one of them. We got Jakob and Christian are two for sure, but we need a third regular center, and that could be Maker. But although he doesn't really play like a center, in some ways he doesn't have the positional defensive center stuff that I like to have in that center. So in some ways, I still feel like Bobby and Masai need to have a third physical center, like a body center. So for just in the case of last night, showed you exactly. You know, you don't have Jakob because of a sickness. Precious is out still because of a groin. Koloko's out because of respiratory issue. Who's going to be our center then? And in some ways, that center depth was exposed last night. And this is a worry that Cool Cat and I have brought up in the past that we don't necessarily like about the roster build of the Raptors. The third center needs to be there. And you can't count Precious. Precious can't be counted as one of the three centers. David is here. Good to see David Saborin. Always happy to see David in the chat. Our trivia champion, David Saborin. Let's see. G saying Darko had kahunas to play the bench the end of the game. I don't know if I would have had that confidence to like that to do it. Really respecting Darko right now. I know when I saw him doing it, I was like, man, this is the ultimate anti-Nick move. Like just the opposite of what Nick would have done. There's no way he would have had confidence in those guys to close that game out like that. And see, this is the thing. You build confidence in the young guys' hearts for allowing them to be out there in a meaningful game and win. In some ways they get that feeling of like, you know what, we had a big part in helping us win this game last night. It wasn't just the 22 from Scottie and Pascal. It was also the end of the bench, closing the game out in an effective way and playing smart basketball and winning the game. In some ways, they had a lead that was 6 points and they squandered it. Chicago came back and they were leading at different times in that little bit of time at the end. But they showed poise. They showed strong kind of basketball strengths and they made it happen and they ended up winning. In some ways, that was a very on purpose thing. Throw the baby in the water and hope that it can paddle is kind of what they did. And well, that baby was doing the backstroke. It was fine. It was swimming all right. Yeah, because in some ways that was risky. But in some ways, where's the risk? It's a preseason game. It doesn't count to our 82. And this could be a very good opportunity to give some good feelings of development in clutch kind of situations for guys that would not normally get that. They wouldn't have gotten it the last few years under our old coach. That's for sure. That's for sure. Yeah. Duke Rocks is saying elephant in the room is definitely Flynn, but coach must see something in him. In some ways, what it is he's done everything perfect as far as preparation, being ready, being a good citizen, listening, being like doing everything right except for like performance in the game. I think that's part of what it is. It's like they tell him, it's like, you come to practice every day, you listen every day, you show progress, you do this, you do that. We love you, Malachi, because you're doing the effort. And maybe it's good on all of that stuff. It's just the execution in the game is falling through. And I think that's what it is. I think that it really is that this dude is doing everything they ask of him behind the scenes to a T. But then it's just not happening on the court in front of all of us. So it's like, how do you deal with that? You're like, oh, he's doing everything we want him to do. It's just that his shots aren't falling. I don't know how you deal with that. At some point, you got to just say, over 4 years of playing in this league, this man is just not making shots when it matters. In some ways, he may be the most clutch pro-am player in the world, but he's not clutch in basketball NBA games for some fucking reason. He just doesn't have it in NBA games. I don't know what it is wrong with him. Seriously, is it in his head? I don't know what it is. The man needs to make his shot. He should be a dead eye. We can see with Grady. Grady comes out there and he's automatic. It's like he's not even thinking about it. He's unconscious, and boom, it's through the net. That's where Malachi should be if he's a true bona fide three-point sniper threat, like what he's supposed to be, and they brag him to be. He should be unconscious. It should be second nature. It should be like he has his eyes closed and he just throws a ball and it goes through the net. If that's what we're supposed to buy in and believe about him, that's what way it should be. That's why I'm so sick of this shit. Seeing him miss open shots. Honestly, he could have made like 2 or 3 of his shots last night. I'd be okay with it, but he's 0 for 7. 0 for fucking 7. Fiercely saying, good morning, fam. Happy Wednesday. Yes, Lex. They had Vucevic, but we still won without our big yak. I'm so happy the bench had lots of minutes, provided an opportunity to play under pressure. Yeah. They had that advantage, and I'm glad that they played their whole team. DeMar out there doing DeMar stuff, seeing DeMar palling around with Pascal. They really are tight. Siakam and DeRozan really are tight, and I love that bond. And, of course, we love DeMar. Honestly, I have so much love for him and his accolades. And, they were talking about in the broadcast last night whether they think he's going to the Hall. Matt Devlin and Jack Armstrong, of course, endorse him for the Hall of Fame. His stats say that he should be. I'm telling you right now. Of course, a lot of people will discount him in his career overview because most of his stats were made here and on our team. And that's bullshit. This man is up there with a lot of stats in a lot of different ways. And DeMar DeRozan's a Hall of Famer. Yeah, you can make all kinds of different arguments, but in certain ways, this guy's a slam dunk Hall of Famer, and he will be. Watch, he will be. And a lot of haters will say, no, DeMar is not a Hall of Famer. Well, you ask people who played the game with him, played as a teammate or opponent to him, you ask them if he's a Hall of Famer. I don't give a shit about you behind the keyboard at your house. No, you ask the people who played next to him or against him, whether he's a Hall of Famer. They'll tell you the damn truth. Is what they'll tell you, yeah. Guardian saying, I would like to see Dowtin get some minutes next game. Flynn seems to struggle. You're next, Washington. That's right. Well, it's now or never. And this is going to be an important game for a lot of different guys. I expect him to go even less on the starters on Friday and a lot more on the bench, especially guys like maybe Jeff Dowtin Jr. does need to play on Friday. If this is his last hurrah playing for the Raptors, we need to see him on Friday. Do this for us, please, Darko and Masai. But just sign him. Just keep him on the team somehow, some way. Maybe if Otto Porter doesn't show up and play on Friday night, maybe he's the one getting cut. I have no idea. Trust in Bobby and Masai and Teresa and Dan to make the right decisions from the front office. That's right. Let's see. Top saying, my only thought is they are trying to trade Malachi and are showcasing him. I would give Javon a spot on the big club. He's legit. He's played amazing in G League, Summer League, and now here. Yeah, he's been fantastic. Let's look at Javon Freeman Liberty's line. He wasn't in for too long last night. Just 1 for 2 and 1 for 2 at the free throw line, 3 points, but 3 rebounds. He had 2 offensive rebounds that were key at the end of the game, 2 assists also, and a key block also at the end of the game. So he was very helpful at the end of the game in helping us win for sure. I like Javon too, but he's going to get his time. He's a two-way. So he's going to get time on both levels. He's still so young too. And it's so funny to hear him. Like when he's in his interview, you really get the sense that he's very sheltered and that in some ways, like it was a lot of fun for him to go back to Chicago and play in front of the crowd last night. The Bulls announcers were talking about him on the thing and like saying that he's just an awesome player and that they feel like that the Bulls organization lost something, but letting him go to come to us. So yeah, the Bulls announcers very much saying that last night in the highlights. Cool Cat saying, learning Coach Darko's schemes, we need to surround more shooters around Pascal and Scottie. Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with that. I mean, I look at these guys as being shooters themselves at this point, especially if they're going to shoot the threes like they did last night. This is going to be a big, huge boon to us if we can get consistent 3-point makes by Siakam and Barnes. These guys worked very, very hard on it the last couple summers, and they showed improvement last season. But a lot of people said not enough. Well, maybe they'll show enough improvement this year because in some ways they won't be as hurried, and the quality of the 3-point shots they take this year may be better. So their percentages may go up this year along with the hard work they put in the offseason. I know for a fact that Scottie and Pascal specifically shoot tons of threes in the offseason, and they are desperately trying to get their 3-point shooting percentages up in the regular season. So we're going to see that this year. They're going to shoot much better this year. And Scottie won't be laid off of like he was last year where it really hurt us badly. In some ways, it was the scheme of Nick that was setting up Scottie to fail because they were putting him in that situation. He wasn't ready for that totally. I hope that Darko has something that covers that up and makes it all right. Or Scott just nails them and makes them pay. Because he did do that in the last couple games. He's hit a couple of big threes when they left him open and he made them pay. Guardian Transit saying Javon has looked pretty good so far. Yeah, Freeman Liberty's been awesome. Matt Devlin was a little crazy with his call last night. He's all over the place with names right now. I don't know what's going on with him. He calls him Liberty Freeman. And he's also kind of like messing people's names up in weird ways like recently I've noticed. I don't know what's going on with you, Matt, but rein it in. We're worried about you, man. I know you had a leg injury this summer, but I don't understand why that would mess up your call. Yeah, Matt's been a little weird recently. Seriously, listen to him. The way he's been calling the game's been a little off. Let's see. Nako's saying, had to watch the highlights. Was at Genesis Owasu concert. Very cool. Channel's always going to cool shit. Very cool shit, Nako. Team play looks good from what I'm seeing. I'm really starting to like McDaniels. I think Grady's instincts and offense look real good too. Yeah, McDaniels was fine. He wasn't as poignant or big in this game as he was in the last game. But let's look at his stats real quick. He had 25 minutes. He only got 6 points, 2 of 7 from the field. He missed all 4 of his threes, but 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 blocks. I like the shot blocking by Jalen McDaniels. It doesn't hurt to have another guy kind of long and hanging around in the lane like Boucher or Jakob or Koloko out there that can be a shot blocking threat. So Jalen McDaniels is showing a little bit more of his bag of tricks little by little as we get to see him. And shot blocking was part of the equation last night. I like that. He's a very versatile 6'9" player, just like our guys. He's definitely a Vision 6'9" kind of player. So I really like him too. Grady had interesting stuff last night. We saw him telegraphing rebounds. There was one point where the ball came off the rim and he swooped right in the lane and grabbed the ball and gave us a second chance shot. That is fantastic. Johnny Hustle. I'm telling you right now, Grady Dick is not only going to be known for his dead eye shooting, but he's going to be known for his hustle and his Johnny on the spot mentality of being in the right place at the right time to collect loose balls and rebounds. I love the way Grady was playing last night. Once again, we're seeing a little bit more of his bag of tricks revealed, whether it was the other day we saw him on the break, leading the break, dribbling and passing. Well, we're seeing him getting in there and getting rebounds and also just being real smart off the ball. So, yeah, we really, really like Grady has a lot of promise. And I like the poise and confidence he's playing with, too. This isn't normal for a 19-year-old who's got 1 year at Kansas to come into the NBA and have such poise and not look shaky and not look like he's out of place or make a ton of mistakes either. Sure, he made a rookie mistake last night and stepped on the out of bounds line and caused a turnover for a second. But you get one of those, Grady. You got your rookie mistake of stepping on the out of bounds line. I don't want to ever see you do that again. Now that you know where it is, you know where it is. So, but yeah, man, the dude looks unflappable, and he doesn't look 19 to me. Even though his body looks 19, he doesn't act like he's 19 out there. That's for damn sure. That's for damn sure. Top saying Javon's passing, cutting, and slashing has been impressive. He's just a hooper. In some ways, we wanted somebody who will just get the basket, the net, the ball, go through it. You know, he's that kind of guy. And I love it. I love it. He's been fantastic. And he's got passing chops too, which I really like. Duke's saying, other than the turnovers, Siakam and Barnes look really good. They were fantastic. They're playing within themselves, playing within the team, playing within the system. No over-forcing shit. You know, there's very few stagnant parts in this. What happens with us. You know, we can see on the other end, our team playing really incredible man-on-man defense where we get them to have a really bad shot and they're running out the shot clock and they don't get a good shot. I want to see more of this on the other end with our defense. Staying at home and playing these guys one-on-one with our talent has been fruitful so far. It's worked pretty well so far. And I think the energy we're gaining from not running around all over the place is really helping on the offensive end. But I love seeing a defensive stand where they call a timeout and they come back in. We play such good defense on them. They don't get a good shot in the 24-second shot clock. And it's just because we're so doggedly defense. In some ways, we were all over the place on our defense. And the effort that the guys are putting in on defense is fantastic right now. It seriously was. The defense was really, really good at times last night, just stifling. And Chicago couldn't do jack shit. And that's really awesome. I really like that. Yeah. Evelyn's saying, good morning, fam. I will be listening while I'm at the doctor's appointment. All right, I'll try not to cuss, Granny Evelyn, because I don't want you to get kicked out of the doctor's waiting room. Maybe there's somebody sitting near you, and maybe they'll learn about my channel, and they'll start watching it too. Because they're like, oh, what are you watching? Oh, I'm watching Raptors Freak. We're talking about the Chicago game last night. Oh, I like the Raptors. I watched the game last night too. Well, you should watch the Raptors Freak. Here, we'll watch it while we're in the doctor's waiting room real quick. I love that, Evelyn. Do that. And say hi to baby Candace. Fiercey saying, some are trying to sully us by saying we had tons of free throws. Well, Bulls needed to chill on the fouls. As simple as that. Lex, Malachi was not it yesterday. I know Fiercey was sending me messages last night about Fiercey in the group chat last night about not it. I think we all see that in some ways. Yeah. You know, they're going to find every kind of angle to get mad and upset about. What was it that dumbass was mad that we didn't beat the Titans by 60 points earlier this week? You know, they're going to figure something out. You know, I love the free throw output that we're getting. We did not get free throw trips like this in the last few years, the last 5 years. I don't think we've gotten free throw trips like this since the championship year or even maybe the year after that, where we're getting that kind of respect and that many free throw attempts. It really shows an aggressiveness by our system to get the paint touches and to force contact with the defenders coming to meet us. So I applaud it. In fact, once again, I have to think the last 2 or 3 games, these 3 games so far, it's a huge factor in why we're winning is because we're getting more free throw points because we're getting more free throw attempts. And man, I'm all about it. Whatever these people are saying, I don't care what their criticism is. We'll just keep collecting these. And they can fucking say whatever the fuck they want. Whether it's, Gary's not starting. Siakam should score 30. Say whatever the fuck y'all want to say, you idiots. I'll take it the way it gets served up. And I'll relish the W's that are coming out as the outcome. How about that? Yeah, I don't care who scores what or does what. I just want it all to add up to this. That's the stat I care about, baby. That's the win. And that's all I give a shit about. Yeah. Tristan Phipps is here. Good to see Raptor Freak. Tristan, always happy to see you, man. Loved everything except Flynn, honestly. I think this is an overwhelmingly a majority of the opinions right now. It's like we loved everything about last night, but Flynn was a sour note in some ways, for sure. Tristan, always happy to see you, man. Kareem saying, I was watching Raptors team preview on NBA Canada, and Isiah Thomas is the only person outside of Toronto who absolutely smitten about the Raptors and has nothing but praise for Scottie, Pascal, OG, and Dennis. You know, Isiah, in some ways, he really is loyal to us. He has been. And he should, because in some ways, we're his baby. In some ways, we really are his baby. And in some ways, our success is a success for him, even if he hasn't had anything to do with us for 20 years. You know, I love Isiah. He was one of my favorite players when I was a little kid. I wore Isiah's t-shirt when I was like 8 years old. I was very young. And I appreciate him for this. Seriously. I really do. And if he's the only person on NBA TV talking us up and standing up for us, thank you, Isiah. Thank you, Isiah Thomas. Seriously. In some ways, he's a controversial figure. You know, a lot of people make fun of him for his beefs with Michael Jordan and the Last Dance stuff. You know, a lot of different things they make fun of him for. But honestly, he's a very honored, great Hall of Fame player who is absolutely one of the greatest point guards to ever play in the NBA. And we appreciate you, first team president, Isiah Thomas, for helping us in these kind of things. He's right, though. Him and Reggie are right. They're going to be proving everybody that they're right. Reggie Miller, Isiah Thomas know what the Raptors are right now, and they're speaking our truth. And everybody else will catch up later. Once again, we don't want to wake them up too soon, but Isiah sees the truth. Cool Cat saying, I see we had more ISO this game from Pascal and Scottie. Want to see OG find his rhythm. Yeah, if there was, it was hidden well enough. There was a little bit of trying to beat people off the dribble. But in some ways, it wasn't like, you know, the problem with the ISO is when it stagnates. That really is the problem. When it's really kind of like beating them over the head with it, they expect it. So they're lining up and setting up for it defensively every single time down the court. Now, with the vary of our new offensive system, the varying of it allows for them to kind of have to keep guessing instead of just saying, oh, we got to set up for Siakam because they're just going to post Siakam, or, oh, they're going to try and drive with Fred or something like that. Very predictable last year. This year, it's not so much. So in some ways, when they do the isolation stuff, it's derived from the unpredictability of the flow of the offense in that moment. It's not that it is dictated that this is going to be an isolation set. Does that make sense? It's kind of like a discovery in the moment. This is the right move at this time because I can beat this guy in isolation 101. Not that we're going to go isolation no matter what and force it on them. No, that in some ways it's a different thing. If it's within the flow of the game and it's smoothly in the whole thing of it, instead of just making it happen like what I just said. David's saying people always find a reason to sully Toronto. We could win 17 championships and they still trash us. Yeah, that's the damn truth. Seriously. It's the damn truth. G saying Grady hustles hard. He is only 19 and 6'8". You think he can end up being 6'10" shooting guard? I think so. Scottie's going to grow 2 inches from 19 to 21. Why can't Grady grow 2 inches and be almost 7 foot tall, 3-point shooting excellence? Yeah. I'd like to see this. In fact, this may very well be one of the reasons why they very much valued him is the upside on his height with his shooting skills. Yeah. Nako's saying, give Javon an NBA champion contract. Get him paid. Keep him if we can. Sign Mo to a 2-way. That makes it even more complicated. And we can't totally do that exactly right. That would mean we'd have to cut 2 people. So that would definitely mean we're cutting Jeff Dowtin and then maybe Malachi also. So I don't know. Nako, let's just wait and see what they do. In some ways, we'll analyze the final front office moves with our training camp roster. And we'll figure out, well, why did they do this? And why is this happening this way? And then we'll see if it's the right decision over time. But in some ways, we can overanalyze this and we can pray and hope that Jeffrey Dowtin Jr. is going to make this team. But in some ways, it's totally out of our control. And the less we try and have an idea of what it should be, the less disappointed we'll be. So we'll just let it be what it is and trust in Messiah. as always. Top is saying that at Duke Rocks, what do they see in Flynn? Haven't seen anything. He looks lost and has a poor feel for the game. Grady already has a better feel and movement on the court than Flynn. In some ways, I won't disagree with what you're saying at the end there. I think that there's certain things that Malachi's doing really well. And one of the reasons why we did win this game was his leadership on the court. Even if he wasn't scoring or looking good himself, he was kind of controlling the game as our point guard leader at times in this game last night where he was effective and he was helping us to win. But in some ways also he was a detriment for sure. Cowboys saying 6'11 Grady, he's growing. Yeah, look out. That could happen. Seriously, that could be a reality soon. Duke saying, Top, I see nothing in Flynn. I said the coach, Darko, must see something to give him play him so much over Dowtin. In some ways, I don't think Dowtin's just in the plans for Darko. He really does want to get further with Malachi and show what he can do. That's all the signals we're getting from their interviews this week. And that, this is the plan, is to get more out of Malachi and develop him further. Top Santa Cool Cat, we have some shooters to surround Scottie and Pascal, and Otto was too, but we could use another as insurance. Yeah. I mean, these shooters just got to shoot better, get better high-quality shots, and we'll be all right. G saying, I loved how they bullied White. Dennis does not take shit. Scottie bullying him, and I think OG even plowed over him. Yeah, I mean, Kobe was being a little punk. There are little punk asses in this league, and Kobe White is a punk ass. There were annoying people on this Bulls side. Let me look at the Bulls real quick on their box score real quick. Patrick Williams was a force at times, but he did miss a lot of shots also, 4 for 13. But he was annoying. He was a minus 11 also, so that's indicative that he was out there losing. DeMar was solid, but he didn't play a whole lot, and he wasn't really a focal point for them. They were really going through Zach and Nikola more. Zach was fantastic. Holy crap. 10 and 19, 25 points. We couldn't stop him. It was really annoying how Zach LaVine was getting in there, getting dunks and bombing threes. He was really annoying last night. And then Vucevic was a monster. 20 points, 10 rebounds, 8 of 13 shooting. Really annoying. Those two guys. Kobe White being annoying, just being a pest. Who else on the bench? Craig with that block and him just being a punk ass, annoying veteran. Drummond being annoying also and being overwhelmingly huge at 13 rebounds in 20 minutes. Very annoying. And then Carter was very dogged. And at one point he showed up, Malachi. Like he really messed him up with his guarding him and made him turn over the ball. So yeah, that was a moment where people were like, Malachi. Like, seriously, this is one area where you should do really well. Well, he caused a couple turnovers. And Javon Carter was very annoying for those turnovers. He was being super annoying. So, yeah, there were like 5 guys that were annoying on the Bulls side for sure. Very, very annoying. Tom Duke is saying, you were right. It is Scottie's world. We just live in it. That's just what I say about overwhelmingly powerful NBA players. It's like, look, dude, you can do whatever you want on the court. Just go do it. We'll watch. We'll enjoy it. It's like, listen, you're the main character. We're just side characters, y'all. We're NPCs. We're cameos in the side. This dude's the main character. He's the hero of the story. And that's the way I look at it with Scottie. He really is like that. G saying, Pascal will get his points per game average easier and more efficiently now. I think so, too. And the other thing is, G, he has room to sprout up and grow with the other stats like crazy. He may have a career high in rebounds or assists this year. He may have a career high in blocks or steals this year. Some of the people on Twitter are saying, wow, Pascal can play defense again. Well, he's not doing everything on expending all his energy on the offensive end. Yeah, he can play more energy on the defensive end. And we're seeing that already. Tom's got Scottie on fire, and it's his world. That's right. Cowboys saying Flynn is out of here. I think this is a popular sentiment, but I don't know if it's the reality of what they're going to do. David's saying, why? He played well yesterday. Who played well? Flynn? No, I don't think so. Let's see. Nako's saying, with Darko preaching a lot of ball movement, he is the coach to make sure Scottie and Pascal are a great duo. Yeah. He's going to really make Scottie really incredibly good. Siakam could go along with the ride and fit in still. That's fantastic. But in some ways, Darko is here to coach Scott. Trust me. And he's got a whole long-term idea of what Scottie can become and guiding him to become that in the next couple years. David's saying, what's with all the Flynn hate? I don't even care for the guy, but give him a chance, you lunatics. Well, David, he did not look good last night. He did not. He was 0 for 7. And I'm sorry, I'm going to point that out. That's really bad. And then he had really bad miscues at times. I know there's a lot of hate for him right now, but in some ways it's warranted. Some ways we're Jeff lovers. And we don't want Jeff to not make the team over Malachi making it. That would be messed up. Wayne's saying, Malachi, I can't advocate for Malachi anymore. Every open shot he missed could have changed the momentum of the game. We need to see Jeff give his opportunity to prove he can run the second unit. Yes, I'm with Wayne Strainer. Wayne Strainer has been on point a lot lately, and Wayne is on point once again here. I think that hopefully we'll see Dowtin Jr. a lot on Friday night against the Wizards. We better. If we don't see him playing that game and he just gets cut, I'm going to feel like he got robbed in some ways. David's saying he was tortured by Nick Nurse and your fan favorite Freddie for like 2.5 years. He's going to need more than 2 days to get it together. Chill, people, chill. David's Malachi stand all of a sudden. This is new. I didn't realize this. I know he was talking him up on Sunday when we were together at the game. You say, man, I don't understand. Malachi's been doing great. I get it, but I'm not real quick to stand up for him. I'm really not. I don't think he was tortured. He may have been tortured by Nick, but not by Fred. Fred was his friend. Fred taught him what he's doing. Maybe that's why we need to cut him. We need to get rid of all the remnants of Fred also. Get rid of all the remnants of Nick. We got to get rid of all the remnants of Fred, and his apprentice still plays for us. That's right. Maybe that's what it is. Ha 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 ha. Top saying Scottie needs to maintain the overall aggression. That's the key to his breakout season. OG needs to play with offensive aggression every game as well, or we can't justify paying him a two-way level bag. All right, I want to break this down fairly. Scottie, that's part of the reason why he worked so hard on his conditioning this summer, was that he can be at the highest level of energy output on the court so that he can get in there and mix it up. There was some help defense he did last night that Jack pointed out that was amazing. He played against one defender and then came around another guy and came and helped on the other side. That was fantastic. So that's what we're talking about. We want him to have energy to be at the tip-top form so that he can be the best, talented, strongest, fastest Scottie in the moment for whatever is needed in that moment. And that's a great thing. He doesn't just have particular moments that are important for him to do this. Anything on the court, he can have moments doing that. Anything. It doesn't matter what action it is. Pass, shoot, dunk, steal, block, rebound. He can make a big play on any of those kind of plays that will help us win games. And I'm all about that. OG is weird. All right, I'm going to say this about OG top. Let OG just be OG. Some people overanalyze OG too much. In some ways, I don't give a shit what he does on offense. In some ways, I really do still just care about him being absolutely a shutdown defender, plumber that cuts the water off for opposing teams' top players. And in some ways, he may still have to do that a lot. So the defensive energy may outweigh the offensive energy. But if we get offense from OG and he's overwhelmingly good, that's great. But in some ways, I don't care if OG scores 20 points. If OG scores 6 points, if OG scores 15 points, I don't give a shit. As long as he's playing good defense and he's doing good things that add up to winning. So I'm not hung up on OG scoring. Whatever he does, he does. If he makes a leap this year and he's more consistent and he gets closer to like a 20-point game score, that's fantastic. I won't be upset. But in some ways, I don't care about that with his progress. In some ways, it shouldn't matter too, because if, in some ways that may hurt his money for his extension. If he's not becoming a higher level scorer. So top, I'm okay with OG just staying who he is right now, because that may help us with the salary cap. Does that make sense? Kareem saying, what I'm looking forward the most this season is Scottie Barnes. When he grabs the defensive board, that man transitions up the court so fast, ready and willing to pass or score. It's just beautiful. Yeah, he's scary in the open court. He's just so big and he's coming quick. And the other team gets real scared. They get real scared when he's coming down the court. It's the kind of feeling you get when Giannis or LeBron is coming down the court in the same kind of way. It very much is a similar thing. Fiercely saying at top. Interesting point. However, Malachi needs to perform better if they want other teams to notice him. Anyhow, I want Dowtin to take his spot. I'm sorry, but I've seen enough. Yeah. I mean, this is what the fans want. I don't know if that matters to the GM and the front office. If y'all watch us, you know this is how we're voting right now. We'd much rather you keep Jeffrey than Malachi right now. I know y'all invested a lot in him in all this kind of ways. But honestly, we like Jeff more and we believe in him more. We've seen more from him, even in less time. So I'm with you. I'm with you on this. Let's see. Cowboys saying true. Alley-oop to David. You want alley-oop to David because he's standing up for Malachi. He's like one of the few people in here standing up for Malachi today. So David Saborn's getting an alley-oop dunk from Cowboy. All right. Let's see. Cool Cat saying I have to applaud Gary Trent Jr.'s improvement at playmaking. Yeah, I really love that lob to Siakam. That whole play, the way it developed was awesome. You know, really, really cool. Scottie hitting the floor, batting that ball out, Gary getting it, Gary recognizing Siakam coming, and then the beautiful lob and him throwing it down. Siakam had a couple of really nice dunks last night. That one late steal that he got in transition and threw it down, that was an awesome play too. So yeah, really, really, really happy about Gary's passing last night. We've seen a new side to him. Kareem saying, shout out to Grady Dick showing effort on the glass. Board man gets paid. That's right, Grady. Out there looking good on the court. And, you know, this team's fun to watch. We got a lot of interesting, fun players that when they do stuff, we're going to be like having fun watching them. G saying, Scottie has improved, but I think the most improved Raptors, Gary, assisting and rebounding and taking good shots and being highly efficient and consistent so far. Yeah. In some ways, Gary is giving himself more dimensions. You know, in some ways he was just a shooter. Now he's a shooter scorer. Now he's a defender. We can steal also. But now what? He's going to start passing and he's going to go mix it up and get boards too. Yeah, more well-rounded and more fitting the mold of a Raptors player in some ways. David saying, I wish y'all hate Fred as much as you do Malachi. Laugh out loud. Fred couldn't buy a bucket last season, but he's a fucking groat according to the fans. Well, let's not bring Fred into this. Fred's different. Fred has accomplishment. Fred has a lot of on his resume that makes him a groat. I'm sorry. That's just the damn truth, David. Malachi doesn't. He just doesn't. Malachi doesn't have a ring. Malachi's not an all-star. Malachi doesn't have franchise records. Yeah, there's levels to this. And Malachi has just not done anything, David. Seriously. He's had a lot of chances. That's why we're frustrated. We're waiting for him to blossom in his place and take what we want him to take, but he's just not doing it. It's like he gets the opportunities and he squanders them, is how I look at it. And some of it isn't his fault. Injury, COVID, I get it. Well, now there's nothing in his way. He needs to be consistently better, is what he needs to be. Top saying, at Lex, in playoff games, they will come for players on layup attempts, even in important regular season games. Gary's finishing on fast breaks is below average as he's not a great athlete. You know, I don't like you putting down Gary for no reason because he is a good athlete. You go run against him in a track meet. You go try and do athletic things against him. He's a good athlete. That's not a very nice thing to say about him. You're right. There's dirty play in the NBA, and there's a certain allowance of physicality and hitting our arms that's allowed compared to other teams. And in some ways, we just got to play through it and be that much better. That's just part of the lay of the land. That's the way I've said and talked about in the last 2 years. There won't be fairness with the whistle and with the Raptors. And we just got to be that much better to overcome it and win anyway. So I get it. We know what's coming up. We know how this is going to be. Scottie can complain to them and go, and do all that kind of stuff all he wants. Maybe someday they'll start listening to him because he's a golden boy NBA superstar showcase player. And then they're like, yeah, it's Scottie. We got to listen to him. He's like LeBron now. So, yeah, I hope that's what comes to at some point. But in some ways, he's already doing the LeBron, complaining to the refs, just like LeBron does. Let's see. Cowboy saying alley-oop to Fiercey. All right, Cowboy, getting your assist numbers up here today. Fiercey saw Sarah getting another dunk ordered up by Cowboy. Yeah. All right. Cool Cat saying Dennis is able to drive, which is great. Love his fast pace on the court. I want to see his threes go down. The thing about Dennis is his three-point shooting can be erratic. But the one thing, like I've said before, is when it's clutch time, he's more likely to make it. Like if it's a big time thing. In some ways, Dennis is all about winning, and it's about winning basketball, whatever it is. And his ego is not involved in it. So I love that. He's that kind of player. In some ways, Gary's the same kind of player. Scottie, too. They just want to win. OG's same kind of player. They don't get hung up on their own personal stuff. It's just they want to make the winning plays to add up to the winning for the team. Once again, the stat that matters for me and the team is this one. They don't give a shit about their own personal numbers. Watch. Wayne Stranger saying, that's the point about Gary. He kept us in the game early on. We came alive later on and did need his shots desperately. He's doing just great, and Liberty was awesome. Yeah. I was just noticing that his offense was off after he got blocked. He didn't do anything for the rest of the game. It kind of shook him a little bit. But in the first half, he was absolutely electric and playing fantastic for sure. We just need different people to step up at different times. If we get a good defensive effort overall through most of the game and they listen to Darko and what he wants them to do, it's adding up to winning. And I'm all about that. That's the thing. It's got to add up to winning. In fact, we'll do the team stats real quick right now, just to look at why we won last night a little bit closer. They did get way more shot attempts than us. So we did not win the Nick Nurse Cup of having more field goal attempts, 95-79. And they made 8 more shots than us. So how did we win? If they shot better from the field, they shot better from three-point line. They even shot better at the free throw line than us. They shot better in all 3 categories, but we still won by 4 points. How did we win? It really was the free throw attempts. Having 38 free throw attempts compared to only 11 free throw attempts for them is fantastic. In some ways, we weren't fouling them as much as they were fouling us and playing dirty, and we were getting to the line. And this is a huge stat. Even though we missed some free throws, we made 76% of our free throws. That's better than the 50% we made in the play-in game where we were humiliated. Then we made sure we made 76 of those free throws in a hostile environment with a chorus of DeMar DeRozan wannabes. You heard them on the broadcast last night. Those little kids going, they did it. They did it like crazy when we were shooting free throws. But it didn't work as well as just a singular DR in our own building because there were too many of them. It was a chorus. So, yeah, how did we win? With lower shooting percentages than the Chicago Bulls in all categories. We got more free throw attempts. That is it right there. We were even exactly on rebounds, which is impressive considering Drummond and Vucevic had a real black hole kind of like suck up all the rebounds kind of presence out there. And we still evened out the rebounds with them. The assists, 21 assists. I'd like to see 25 assists. That's kind of like my number this year that I'd like them to get to like it was last year. So we need to get more assists. Another category that we did really well, it was hustle stats. I call steals and blocks hustle stats. We got 22 hustle stats to their 16. That's 11 steals and 11 blocks. That's huge. 3 more turnovers for the Bulls was helpful. The fast break points were good. When we get on the fast break and we get some fast break points generated, good things happen for us also. But the Bulls beat us in the paint too. So there was a lot of stats that were won by the Chicago Bulls last night that should have made them win, but they didn't. Game management and getting the free throw line and, fighting for those loose balls and rebounds. Big time for us. Deflections. That's another big part of why we won last night, too. Yeah. Fiercely saying, I browsed through various Instagram profiles, and Dennis seems to be super supportive. He likes a lot of posts and is very engaged in terms of social media. Also, his NBA peers also seem to respect him. This is all very true. He likes the Raptors admin posts. He gets posted on Raptors admin. He posts it himself on his own thing. He likes Scottie's post. He likes OG's post. He likes Pascal's post. He likes Grady's post. He's liking everybody's stuff, and he is a glue guy. He's a great leadership kind of guy to have on our team this year. Yeah, Dennis is awesome. You know what? Let's do the Instagram check since you brought it up, Fiercey. We'll start with the superfan Mo. She's got the graphic of Scottie and Pascal with the 22 points from TSN last night. And it says, we're going to see graphics just like this all season long. Get used to it and deal with it, NBA. That's right, Superfan Mo. I love that. That's so awesome. We got Grady on a highlight with Malachi getting the pass and the up and under left-handed layup that he made in the game last night. That was a pretty little fast break. And then we see the play where he's got the ball dumped off to him by Javon Freeman Liberty going in the lane. That was really smart by Javon in that play, honestly, because he drew everybody to him. He really did that drive and kick where he came right down the middle of the lane. And this was an important part of the game where we needed a big basket. So it was really smart of Freeman Liberty to get in the lane and throw it out to Grady at that point, and he nailed that three like it was nothing. That was amazing, and crucial key play for us to win last night. Grady getting that three from Javon Freeman Liberty on that play in particular. Mo Gee's getting his highlights put on blast on Instagram also. He had a block, a nice block and a nice dunk and awesome stuff there. Let's see what Dennis has got on his Instagram. Of course, he's got the legendary game day vlog is back, so check that out. Of course, give him a follow. He's got this guy on the street corner dancing, and he's saying this is his mood. So Dennis is in a really good mood. He's in a dancing mood. So the good vibes of Germany this summer are carried over to the Raptors. He's not had a downgrade in energy or leadership or how he feels about winning or doing what he's doing. He's feeling it with the Raptors too, and I love that. We see his game day fit coming in for the game last night. He's really proud last night of his Germany shoes. He was wearing shoes with yellow on them also with the red and the black, the Germany colors of the flag. So, yeah, he's all about his Germany color shoes last night. And he says a good team win in Chicago. Keep it going. That's right. Let's go, Dennis Schroeder and the Raptors. Javon Freeman Liberty getting off the plane on his pictures, of course. And then they have the highlight of him kicking it to Grady for the three. That was a really nice play. Lots of good stuff on the Raptors official admin account with the pictures of game day fits coming in, the starting lineups, the highlights, the good vibes, the good stuff all around, and the big win against the Bulls last night. Precious has got something going on with his What If Unlimited Foundation. So he's always doing some good stuff, just like Siakam with his PS43 Foundation. So good stuff there. And then Marquise Noel is posting his Capricorn astrology horoscope. Slow and steady has always been your style. Remember, the turtle wins the race. So Marquise is ready to take his time to be the player he's supposed to be. And in some ways, he understands it doesn't come all quickly. He's got to take his time, earn his place, and continue to strive to get further and further in his NBA career. But it's not going to happen real quick. So there you go. There's your Raptors Instagram check. I'm pretty sure that's everybody I wanted to see. I don't think there was Scottie or anything. No, there's no Scottie. That was all Cardi stuff yesterday. All right, let's keep going. Cowboys got Dennis on blast. I like that. Cool Cat saying, love seeing Boucher and number 2, Mogi. Javon is a nice backup point guard too. Dick critical 3-point shots. Happy with the bench. Yeah, Boucher's calling Mogi and Maker his twins. He said that on the Raptors show with Will Lou on Monday. He said, MG is my 20, and Maker is also my second 20. So he's embracing having the younger guys with a similar build to him as being his twins. So I like that he's not like pushing away Mogi and saying, oh, you're too much like me. You're a threat to take my place on this team. No, he's actually embracing him and sharing knowledge and trying to help him. That's the best kind of vets. You don't want selfish vets that are scared and act like that. No, Chris is going to do what he's going to do and allow Mogi to become who he's going to be too. Help him for sure. I like that. Top saying, Fiercey, I personally don't expect any value for Flynn, so I would throw him in with Thad to try some other team's guards or simply to free up spots for Dowtin and Javon. Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't see them doing this, but I wouldn't mind this. If we had some sort of deal or something, we got a draft picks or something like that, no player coming back, and we could just do a shuffle around like that, I wouldn't have a problem with this. Although Thaddeus is showing a lot of value right now as far as like being a good, valuable player and vet to come in and play. In some ways, he's showing like he's very valued by Darko, the way he's used him in this preseason. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. We just got to sit back with the popcorn and react and see what it does. Duke saying Gary Trent is definitely an above average athlete. Not sure what you're smoking, Top. Yeah. Yeah, this guy, he's a very above average athlete for sure. Jason knows. Yeah. Let's see. Cool Cat saying ESPN doesn't want to market a team outside the U.S. due to money. Don't matter. We sell out our games. I know. We sell out a Carnes Taipans preseason game. The secret is out. Dennis knows the secret. We know the secret up here. Well, you can go show the game in Chicago last night wasn't as attended as our game on Sunday was. That's the thing. It's fine. We're going to just do our thing. We don't need validation from the US media in certain ways. I keep tabs on what they're saying because in some ways that's part of the perception war I got to keep tabs on to fight. But for the most part, I don't give a shit what they think down there. They've been so unrealistic and wrong about us for years now. It's like, why would we listen to them? Why would we listen to them? They're the people that are projecting us to win 36 games this year. They're crazy. Tristan saying Malachi last night was 0% from the field on 8 attempts. He didn't look good on defense and got blown by. People shooting right over him. Malachi is 25. Jeff is 26. I've seen more good things from Jeff. Yeah, I'm with you, Tristan. And I hope that they see the same thing as us. But sadly, I don't think they do. So we'll just have to see how this goes. In some ways, it's way out of our hands. David saying Fred shot 39.3% from the field last year, and y'all be tripping as soon as Flynn misses a shot. Wake up, wake up. What are you talking about, David? It's two separate things, and it really doesn't have anything to do with each other. Fred's gone. Fred, I don't even want to talk about Fred. There's no reason to talk about him. Malachi is Malachi, and I'm judging Malachi from himself, and I'm judging him from 4 years, 4 training camps at him. He's been on our team. This is his 4th year. And in some ways, I don't see that whole lot of I see some improvement, but in some ways, I really don't. He needs to make a big jump for me to really feel encouraged about keeping him for so long. David, we're going to disagree on this one. I'm sorry. It's just that. And bringing Fred in this conversation is pointless. He has nothing to do with this. We're talking about Malachi. Malachi hasn't proven shit, and he missed 0 for 7 from the field last night. Tristan saying Malachi chucking up some crazy shots too, like the mid-range floater he attempted early in the shot clock and got packed. Yeah, late in the game too. He did not look good. He failed at times. He had bad turnovers, and Javon Carter tied him up too much. In some ways, that pissed me off. It's like, dude, you're supposed to be better than that. You can't let a small point guard tie you up because that's supposed to be one of your strengths. Is you don't get tied up by a small point guard like Javon Carter. You just don't. If we're going to have a guy his height and with what he's supposed to be doing, he can't have that kind of stuff happening to him. I'm sorry. Cool Cat saying, I love that we are last in U.S. markets. It makes them look dumb when we show out. I know. Fine. Don't let them watch us. Don't tell them to watch us. Say we're unwatchable. They'll miss out on all the fun. That's fine. We'll have all the fun ourselves up here in Canada, watching our team be really fun to watch. And y'all can think they're unwatchable down south, but you go see Scottie highlights down there, and all of a sudden y'all will start watching us. Watch. You can be like, holy shit, did you see what Scottie Barnes did last night? That is amazing what he did. I got to watch more Raptors. Why am I not watching Raptors? Oh, Zach Lowe told me not to watch the Raptors at the beginning of the season. What an asshole. Why did Zach tell me that? I'm missing out. It's going to be like that. Seriously. Tristan saying that David, maybe. And David's saying, did you see Fred in the last 5 minutes of every game he played last season? Once again, it doesn't matter, David. Who cares? I don't give a shit about Fred right now. Seriously. Fiercely saying at top, good plan. Or maybe Malachi and Otto as Thad is more helpful for now. Yeah, who knows? Well, I mean, we'll see what they do. I don't think they're going to make any deals, though. Cowboys give me an alarm. Okay. Wayne saying, Lex, we're just not seen as part of the NBA. Might as well be in Spain. They're lost considering half of the teams are unwatchable. Yeah, I don't understand this. We were above Washington and Charlotte, I think. Wait, no, we weren't above Charlotte. They think that LaMelo is really fun to watch. Okay. Anyway, Fiercely saying, wow, we share the love on Saturday. Front office will cut. That's cold. Yeah, on Saturday, we'll do a reaction. We're not going to do a Share the Love Club this Saturday. We'll definitely be doing reaction to the Friday night game for the Wizards. So it'll be a stream like today on Saturday. No Share the Love this week because Friday night game. Fiercely saying, who wants to be mad at a game? That is toxicity at the highest level. I know, this was ridiculous to me. Like, people on Twitter are like saying, I can't be mad at that game. I'm like, well, wait, is that your default? Is just to be mad at the game? I mean, some fans just want to be justifiably angry All right, go ahead and get mad at Malachi. That's fine. You're okay to do that today, Raptors fan. Wayne saying Fred looks so out of place. I can't believe it's him. It seems really out of place. Yeah, the Houston stuff's gonna be sucking. He just needs to concentrate on his money. Be happy you got 43 million and just enjoy that, Fred. That may be the best thing in your life. Bryce Lawson's here. Good to see Bryce Lawson every morning. We're talking Raptors at 9:30 a.m. I'm glad to see you join us. When his number is called, he sucks. That's right. This is what I've seen a pattern of since Tampa, since we drafted him. Whenever he gets the chance, he either gets hurt shortly afterwards or he just doesn't step up and do the things in the right way. Bryce is right. Thank you, Bryce, for your comment. Aged African. Cool name. Not all Raptors fans are just going to roll with mediocre teams. We won a chip, and now that's our standard. Anything less is a failure. Well, I'm gonna stop you right there. That's fucked up mentality. Seriously, that sounds like a more recent fan. That sounds like a casual to me, honestly. All due respect, you're new here, but that's not how we do things here. We love our team. We root for them no matter what, even if they're bad. We're not fair weather. We're not like saying that's our standard. That's bullshit. Do you want to hold that kind of standard for yourself and the way you look at them? That's fine. But that's a casual take. You got to understand, winning a championship in the NBA is not a regular occurrence. We got spoiled winning that first championship, and a lot of our fans are idiots because of it. That's not our standard. We'd like to win another championship, and we're definitely going for it. We want to be bona fide. We don't want to make it look like it was a fluke that we won one in 2019. But Raptors fans need to realize there's a process to this space-aged African. You can't just jump into championships easily all the time. We got to go through the different stages of a franchise to get back to the championship again. So look, you can say the mediocre team's no fun. I think last year was a success, considering we had horrible chemistry and we still didn't have a losing season. So you can have your own opinions and say what you want to say, but I don't think real Raptor fans are like that. I think real Raptors fans ride or die with their team, whether they win or lose. And I know because I was there in 1995, riding and dying with them when they were winning 20 games a year. So it's really more of a recent Raptor fan perspective that puts forth that kind of attitude. You got to understand, only one out of the 30 teams wins the championship every year. And if you're going to say the Raptors are a failure every year because they didn't win the championship, well, you're an idiot, is what I'll say right now. Fiercely saying White did some sucker shit. He shoved Dennis, and Dennis gave him a mouthful. That was amazing. Yeah, it was really good. And it showing that intensity in the preseason and standing up for guys, that's awesome. That is awesome. Tom Dupe saying, Space Age African, nothing special is easy. Developing competitive levels and entertaining us should be enough. I'm pumped. That's right. You guys are so spoiled that we won that championship. A lot of y'all weren't even there for the build-up. You just came in and wanted to go to the parade and act like a winner because it felt good. Motherfuckers, you got to go through the hard shit with us. You got to go through LeBronto. You got to go through the hard shit. So yeah, don't be acting like it's easy. No, it ain't like that. This is a very hard league, and especially for the only Canadian team in the league. So yeah, don't have that attitude about that. We love and support our team no matter what on this channel. You want to be critical and go after the team when they're not exactly perfect, you may find other Raptors channels are better for you because we're good fans and we stand by our team. We're not half-assed fans that only root for them when they're winning. We root for them every single goddamn day of the month in the year and every 365 days a year. So that's where we're at there. Yeah. G saying they won a chip after years of building the team. Kawhi and Gasol were 1-year rentals. They left, and so did a lot of talent with them. This was the sacrifice to win a chip. We need patience too. That's right. It's not enough. We have a championship standard now. We do not and should not praise mediocrity. Whatever, man. You can come in with that kind of talk. You're going to sound like an idiot and a casual. I'm just going to say that once again. Anyway, Shirkan saying, good morning, Raptor Freak family. What a game. Rare preseason thriller. That Dennis defense on Kobe was something else. Good vibes for sure. I appreciate you, Shirkan, Raptor Freak, Rookie of the Year. Yeah, I'm all about what you're saying here for sure. I thought it was a thriller. It was an entertaining game in different sections. We started flat. We settled things down. Our bench unit came in and really got us going again. And that's really interesting. We had a pretty good lead and mostly leading most of the game. Chicago came and fought with us a little bit, gave us some good tests. Darko trusted the bench at the end, and we won. But yeah, really, really good stuff from the starters, good stuff from the bench, and good stuff from the third string also. So good stuff at all three levels and good vibes also. David saying at Wayne Strainer, out of place. What did you expect to see after last season? Seriously. I don't even know, David, what hill you're standing on right now. In some ways, you sound like Amari in what you were saying about him the other day. This is coming from a weird place, David. I don't understand why you're standing on this hill right now. G saying, if Giannis and Lopez left the Bucks, would it be realistic to expect the same results? It would take a few years to retool and develop. We all have high expectations, but also reality has to be a factor. Once again, anybody who says that championship or bust mentality is an idiot. I'll just say that. All due respect, Space Age African. I don't need your sub. And honestly, I don't need that energy in here. You got to allow for different levels of success. The Utah Jazz never won a championship, but they were one of the most successful franchises in the 1990s. And you could say they're losers and they suck. But you know what? Jazz fans were very happy with being in the playoffs every year and watching Stockton Malone compete and win a lot. Did they ever win the championship? No, they didn't. But can you say that they were an unsuccessful team and they suck? No, you can't either. So in some ways, there's levels to this. And once again, you're an idiot. Seriously, championship or bust mentality is fucking one of the dumbest poisons in Raptors Nation right now. And if you're professing it here, you're going to get shut down real quick. Watch. You will get shut down. Just like OG shutting somebody down in the court, I'll shut you down in this chat. That's right. There you go. Tristan saying, I was also impressed by Jalen's defense. Jalen McDaniels, a very good defensive player. The blocking, the just all around the place, the hustle. Fiercely saying, Darko reacts quickly to situations and efficiently switches players when in foul trouble or if they don't produce. Big difference with our former coach. And yeah, I could say that too. He seems like he's on his toes. He seems like the rotations have been fantastic. Like, seriously, I haven't seen any really weak lineups out there where we got super hurt. There was a drop off at one point when the bench came in the second half, and I was a little worried because they were getting kind of their ass kicked. But in some ways, he made the right adjustments with the right substitutions, and we weathered that storm better than we did in past years. Whereas like that stagnation would last like 5 or 6 minutes of the game clock. Well, in some ways, if we only see the stagnation for like 2 or 3 minutes of the game clock instead of like 6 or 7 minutes of the game clock, that may be better and an improvement over that happening last year with Nick's direction. Tristan saying, and the passing of Jalen. Yeah, he's a good all-around player. Jalen McDaniels is a really good pickup. We the North is back. I'd love to see our robot friend, We the North. Bam, bam. G saying they will win another chip. We all want that. Hang on. No, jumped. Let me find out where We the North started up. And y'all give me a cutoff, please. Please give me a cutoff. Oh, I see Shaq Lindsay did that. I appreciate you, Shaq Lindsay, for the cutoff. It will go a little long today. It's a game reaction, and it's always good and fun to react to the game. Where am I? Okay, there's We the North finally. All right, what is he saying? All right, I want to make sure I get this. We the North is saying, We the North, and G's saying they will win another chip. We all want that. The in between is something they need to figure out. Grow, develop, and use trades if and when necessary. I have full confidence in our team that we are kicking ass with what we're doing, and we are going to win another championship. Once again, during Jakob Poeltl's 4-year contract that he's currently on, I'm going to predict that we're going to win a championship in the next 4 years. Okay? We the North saying Scottie Barnes is the future of the Toronto Raptors. I agree with that. Multiple MVP awards. Okay, thank you, Android. Toronto Raptors going to shock the NBA world, getting to the top 3. I love this. I love everything We the North saying, and I'm not going to disagree with it at all. Wayne saying Otto is being treated sparingly and for good reason. It's a long season, and if healthy, he's very useful. Again, Malachi is being given the opportunity to solidify that point guard position or shooting guard. There you go. I like that. And Space Age African saying, I hope you're right, G. We all hope we're right. What are we doing this for, Space Age African? You think we don't want to win the championship? But everything in its right order. If you try and rush things to get to something, it usually doesn't work out. You can ask the Brooklyn Nets. Yeah, you can ask them. You try and rush things, it usually doesn't work out. So you need to take your time and build towards it, like the Denver Nuggets. The Denver Nuggets won their championship this year after building towards it for like almost 10 years. So that's the thing. These things don't just happen overnight, and patience is a virtue. when it comes to rooting for your NBA team. Some people live in a convenience culture where everything's so easy to get, quick, right at your door, right away. Amazon Prime, right away. DoorDash. Yeah, can't have that mentality in the NBA. It doesn't work that way. You got to go the long way and make the slow cook and build it up. And then you can get a championship like the Denver Nuggets did last year. So all things in the right order. And let's not rush things, seriously. In some ways, we got to do it right. We the North saying OG Anunoby needs to step up his game. I won't disagree with that. We the North saying he's our future center, Koloko. I hope so. COVID-19 is back again. Yikes. G saying Masai did it once. He'll do it again. Enjoy the ride. I wish I enjoyed the ride in the process more leading to the chip. Would have saved some remotes lives. Hey, he was destroying these during the run up with DeMar and Kyle and the failures in the playoffs with Dwayne Casey leading up to it. These were his enemy. This is like getting thrown across a room by G. It's funny. We the North saying 2019 championship Raptors. That's right. I just want to see Scottie Barnes' development. I love that. Bryce Lawson saying, do you think we will win over 45 games this year? I do. You know, the guys on the team are predicting from inside. Dennis told Nat Bhatti on the phone the other day he wants to win 60 games this year. He wants to win every single one. I think it's realistic we'll get 45 or more. We got 41 last year with a very dysfunctional team. If we have good luck with health and we continue to play the way we're playing, and, I think we can get at least 45, if not 50 wins this season, Bryce. Trevor saying, I love how the rim blocked Andre Drummond. He forgot it was a taller player in front of him. He was a center. His basketball name was the Hoop. Okay. It's fun. It was pretty embarrassing. He's going to be on Shaq and a Fool for sure. Blackhawk saying, what I want to see is Pascal get Canadian citizenship and play for Team Canada. Yeah, F Joel Embiid. I think it's interesting what the French government has said since Joel has said he's going to play for USA. They're saying that they wish they hadn't wasted the time in naturalizing Joel if they knew he was going to do this. That like, oh, we did this whole process because we thought you were going to come play for France. But now you're going to go play for US? You're such a waste of time, is basically what they said. Joel Embiid, a waste of time. So awesome. All right, David's saying, in reference to Flynn, it's called pot odds, people. He's been here for the small blind, the big blind, and then they call on it the flop, and they see the bit of hope with the turn card. Of course, they're going to call on the river. They are pot committed. He's using a gambling analogy here with poker. And I get what he's saying. They're already invested and down the way. The river's about to get flopped over, and they're going to see it. We got to go all the way with it and just play the hand out is what David is saying. And I get it. He's right. But in some ways, at what cost? Jeffrey Dowtin Jr.? That's the thing. I don't want to pick Malachi over Jeff is basically where I'm at. G saying Dennis can draw fouls and Pascal was getting calls too. Dennis will teach them how to get calls. Yeah. I mean, it's not even that they need to learn how to get calls. It's just that he will help get calls himself. And these guys are going to get more respect and calls, especially if they get closer into the paint and get more of that contact into the defenders. Then they may get more respect in getting to the free throw line. Fiercely saying, I learned Porter is waived. You learned that Porter is waived? What? And Oladipo was sent back to Houston. Didn't even know Miami had sent Oladipo to OKC this offseason. So much movement, hence why couch GMs want us to do the same. Okay, when you said Porter, I think Otto first. I don't think Kevin Porter. He got waived right away because they're making money. Sam Presti is taking advantage of the domestic violence situation with Kevin Porter Jr. And it's kind of gross, honestly. In some ways, it's kind of gross. Sam Presti's kind of a gross person, honestly. Let's just put it that way. Top saying, Lex, it's not only Flynn shooting, though. The Bulls' backup point guard was cooking him. Flynn's defense was not good, especially in that fourth. I'm not going to disagree with you, Top. I didn't think he was good in any aspect at all, other than leading the team. He showed some good leadership as the point guard in passing to a degree, but I'll agree with you. He wasn't good defensively. He was shook and caused turnovers, and he missed all of his shots. So, yeah, Alan Tam's here. Won't pay him, son. Got one coach. Yeah, money. Darko's money is what Alan Tam's saying. I like that. Saying yes to Blackhawk as fiercely. Blackhawk saying, yeah, I want to see that too. I like to see Siakam become Canadian. That'd be awesome. I'm so happy to see Neil. Alan Tam saying, silly rabbit, tricks are for kids. Bam, son. That's one of my favorite sayings. That's one of my favorite sayings, Alan Tam. You coming in here with the Orange Juice Jones from that old, like, you're like a squirrel trying to get a nut. Silly rabbit, tricks are for kids. I love that Orange Juice Jones rant at the end of his song, Walk in the Rain. Oh my gosh. Yeah, bam, son. All right. G saying Oklahoma City has so many extra players. They had to do this trade and swallow his around $11 million, maybe more, salary just to get rid of players. They got 2 second-round picks, but that seems like a high cost. No, I don't like the way they're doing things. There's so much waste. And once again, Sam Presti, you're gross for being an opportunist in this Kevin Porter Jr. situation. You are gross, is what I'm saying. Holla! Wayne saying, I just can't see them cutting Jeff. This front office is not blind unless some behind-the-scenes long-term business relationship payback is going to be involved. I think that's the intriguing story now. I mean, he's the one who's not guaranteed. He's the only one. He's the easiest one to just make things with the salary cap nice and pretty, is just cut Jeff. That's why it seems like this. And they're also very much, nods to what they look at him with the way they're playing him in the preseason. He's getting played as much as Maker, the last guy on the bench. So, yeah, it's really, they're kind of showing it. Wagwan, laugh out loud. Okay, Alan. David saying, man, listening to this Flynn talk sounds insane, especially when people overlooked all of Fred's shortcomings for whatever reason. I'm not convinced Fred is better than Flynn, to be honest. I know y'all can freak out on me. David, I just want you to stop bringing up Fred. He's not valid to this argument. We don't care about how we treated Fred last year. I stood up for Fred. Yes, Fred has done way more for our franchise than Malachi has. If you can't see the difference in why I treat Fred differently than Malachi, I don't know how to explain it to you. So it's just that he's done things. Malachi ain't done jack shit. It's that simple. I mean, come on. And I don't understand why you're standing up for him so much right now. Okay, fine. Take that hill, David. I respect you and love you, man. Let's see. Wagwan, Alan Tan from David. I love it. Duke Rocks is saying, I didn't like who AutoPick chose for my team. Didn't have all of the categories covered. Didn't wake up in time for the draft, but I'll find a way to make it work. You go, Duke Rocks. I wouldn't count you out, champ. I would not. I know you hated your draft and you don't like the team you got. Try and make some trades. Maybe you can unload James Harden. Maybe you can trade some of those guys that you didn't want on your team right now. I mean, let me go look at Duke's team real quick. It's very interesting. And y'all know that he's not very happy with his team. So if y'all are interested in these players, you might be able to get them. He's got Luka, which is fantastic. He's got James Harden, which is, we'll see where he ends up. He's got Fred, which I know he's kind of not totally thrilled about having Fred, I'm sure. He's got the good Jalen Williams for Oklahoma City. He's got Bojan Bogdanović. He's got the one for Detroit. He's got Beef Stew also. He's got Alex Caruso. He's got Karis LeVert. He's got some good, solid role players. He's even got Kevin Love. So I don't know, man. Your team isn't totally horrible. You can salvage it. But, man, that's the thing. I was telling you, man, I even called you. I didn't call anybody on the morning of the draft. I called you and gave you a heads up. You're the only person I told, hey, you get in this draft room. You were the only person I sent a message to, just so you know, Duke. I was trying to get you in there, just so you know. Tom Duke saying, that's your handicap, Duke Rocks. I knew Malachi was going to get the skillet today. Guess I got over sticking up for Fred. Malachi's turn too bad. You did say roster will be defined more by Saturday. Go Raptors. Yeah, I mean, listen, I stood up for Fred last year, and I gladly did. I still would stand up for him, even with how things went. Because, honestly, he deserves that. He deserves that honor and respect as one of our greatest Raptors ever. And that's what Masai said. That's part of the reason why he handled him a certain way, is because you got to respect a legend and an important part of your franchise history. And that's the difference. Malachi is not a legend and a part of our franchise history at this point. Fred is, and that's a big, huge difference. There you go. David saying, fuck Fred VanVleet. We protected that little Munchkins game after game. All right, I'm giving you a strike. Because you do not call him that. That's unfair and not nice. And now it's like, let's just roast Flynn. I guess not shitting on our team members only applied to Fred and Pascal. Laugh out loud. All right, once again, David, I'm going to make this very clear to you, and I hope you get what I'm trying to say. When we were protecting Fred and Pascal last season, it was during the season. And it's not like we're going to cut these guys. Right now, we're in a situation where we're in training camp. And we're trying to figure out who to keep on the team. So this is very valid for our fan nation to say who we like on our team right now. Because who knows? Maybe the front office is listening, and maybe they do take into account what the fans see and they think about the team. So in some ways, us being critical of Flynn right now is the time to do this. Now, in a month or a week from now, and Flynn's on the team, and we want to be encouraging and understanding towards him because he's not a possibility of getting cut, yeah, we'll be more supportive towards him. It's a time and a place for things. We are in preseason, in training camp, and we're sussing out our team. And in some ways, we're espousing our opinions on who we want to keep. This is exactly when we should be doing this. And the talking about Malachi is completely fair and valid. So you standing up for him right now, save it. Save it in like a month from now when he's made the team and we're playing and maybe he has a dog of a game and everybody's coming after him then it's fine. But right now, we're in a period where decisions have to be made and cuts have to happen. So can you understand the difference, David? And can you also understand why I wasn't dogging Fred and Pascal during the season last year? Because it wasn't helpful noise. It wasn't helpful to the situation with the team. So can you understand the differences in the situations and why this is this and this is this? And once again, just don't bring up Fred anymore. And you do have a strike. Seriously, David, you have a strike right now because you don't call Fred that word. In fact, I don't want any kind of bashing of Marquise or anybody for being really short. That's fucked up. They can't help their height. And they get to this level. It should be very admirable that they made it this far. Seriously. Quick Takes is saying, good win last night. Lex, Rapid Freaks, let's go. Bam. Good to see NBA Quick Takes. Y'all give NBA Quick Takes a follow to his YouTube channel. Absolutely fantastic stuff over there all the time. It's a great subscribe. Let's see. Monique is saying Grady's slowly becoming comfortable nicely, and it's only preseason. He doesn't seem like he's got rookie jitters. That's what I'm saying right now, Mo. He doesn't seem like he has rookie jitters. There may be some rookie mistakes, like stepping out of bounds, or maybe a travel call or something like that. Double dribble, like in the first preseason game he appeared in, but he doesn't seem like he has rookie jitters. It seems like he's very aware and has a court presence and already is all over the place and doing really cerebral, smart things with where he is on the court at different times. David saying Fred was top 10 in minutes and bottom 10 in field goal percentage last night. But all right, David, don't fucking bring up Fred anymore. Seriously, I'm going to time you out. If you continue to just talk about Fred's not on our team. I didn't even look at Fred's box score. I don't give a shit what he did with Houston. Stop bringing up Fred, David. Seriously. He has nothing to do with Malachi. Malachi's on his own now. Honestly, David, you're messing up my stream today with your fucking bullshit. And I'm really not happy about it. Seriously, don't do shit like this. Don't get mad and act like this and stand on a hill like this. All you do is waste our time. Seriously, you're wasting our time right now with this. I'm going to start skipping your comments. I see Fred is in your comment, I'm going to skip it. He's saying, let's go, Flynn. Fuck the haters. You're going to do this just to spite these flaky fans. You're calling us flaky fans? No. We seen what he did on the court last night. Our criticism is justified. I'm normally a super positive fan, David. You know that. I don't come after people for no reason. He has a reason to be coming after right now. So go ahead and tell us we're flaky fans for being critical and giving a shit about this. Meanwhile, I got one guy telling us we shouldn't endorse mediocrity. And meanwhile, you're saying, oh, it's okay if he fails completely. Let's just blindly follow him. Fuck that. Fuck that. Duke saying, Tom, I was pissed when I saw Luka, Harden, and Fred as my first 3 picks. By the time I got in the draft, I was scrambling for bigs. Man, I really did try and raise the alarm and get you in there, Jason. Sorry. I mean, Luka's a great pick at least. Luka's not a bad first pick. Tom's saying, no doubt, bigs are essential. All right, David is saying, it's all good. I'm done. Y'all can eat shit on our Raptors currently, and I'll eat shit on ex-Raptors Fan Fleet. I'm timing you out for the rest of the day, David, even though you're done. I don't want to read you for the rest of the day. You really kind of pissed me off today, seriously. I love you, man, and it's really great to go to the game with you. But today, I don't know why you got up on the wrong side of the bed. Why are you so mad at Fred? And go ahead, stand up for Malachi. In some ways, I'm glad, but don't insult us because we're downing him. Seriously, it's not a good look, David. It's not a good look at all today, and you're timed out because I'm worried. I don't want to strike you out, man. You're one of my favorite people. Tom's saying they went on a run. Good luck, sir. Let's see. Most saying Toronto has gone small, but they're still huge. Bulls broadcast commenting on the Raptors lineup on the floor. Well, we didn't have a center, but we're still huge. Yeah, that's accurate. That's accurate. That's accurate commentating right there. Shaq Lindsay saying Flynn, pray for the cut, and Jeff and Freeman check off. There, see, there's a lot of common opinion here. David is in the minority, is very much what's happening right here. You can call us all flaky fans. That's fucked up, David. Come on, man. You think I'm flaky? Getting up at 9:30 every morning talking about this team? You gonna call me flaky? Seriously, David? That's an insult, man. You don't need to be putting us down. What did fucking Fred do to you to hurt you so bad? Did he touch you in the wrong place or something, David? What the fuck did Fred do to you that made you so upset? And why is Malachi? Are you Eric Flynn? Is this what's going on? I saw you on Sunday. Were you wearing a mask the whole time I was sitting there with you and your brother Peter? And you gonna take it off and say, I'm Eric Flynn. That's why. I don't understand this shit. You sound like Eric Flynn today. Fiercely saying Matt Devlin kept saying Draymond instead of Drummond. I know. This is what I got worried about. At one point, Devlin started calling Drummond Draymond. He's having trouble with the names this year. Like, he's not calling people by their right names. And it's like he's got a brain fog or something. I'm a little worried about Matt Devlin. Like, he's not sounding like his normal self so far this season. I don't think it's because of his leg injury. Did he have COVID this summer and he has COVID fog in his head? Because that's what it kind of smacks of. He was calling Drummond Draymond last night, and he did it a bunch of times. And like, I'm like, wait, what the fuck is he doing? Like, this is really crazy. Duke's saying you as well, Tom. Just got to figure out the head strategy for head to head. Well, really is, Duke. And I know you listened to me last year, and that's how you won. Really pay attention to your team week after week. And in some ways, look at your special matchup for that week. Your particular opponent may tell you whether you need to be all out or not that week. Like, if you're playing somebody like David Saborn or me, you need to be on top of things because we're going to be on top of things. Now, if you're playing another team that's not as active, that may be an easier week for you to win. One of the things you want to look at, Jason, is how many games you get to play with your team during that week. Like, I have 38 games played for my team, and Edmund, who's playing me in the first week, has 38 games also. So they should be pretty even. Now, you want to make sure you play as many players in the lineup as you can every single day. And in some ways, you want a good mix of players on different teams. If you have too many players on the same team, they're going to be sitting out altogether, and you may not have a full roster on certain days because you went too heavy on one team. So there's a couple of tips right there. It's really stay on top of it and really look at your opponent each week and gauge whether you need to be more intensely looking at it and on top of it because of that opponent. So there you go. A little bit of fantasy advice for head-to-head strategy in Yahoo leagues. Randolph saying, blessings, beloved Raptor freaks, and most informative gang. The NBA season couldn't have come at a better time. The crisis in the world is depressing. Tough time to be a world leader. Prayers. Yeah, it's just crazy. And I don't even want to talk about it today, but thank you for the blessings, Randolph. And let's give blessings to the whole entire world, places where there's war, places where there are people suffering, places where people need to find peace and love and understanding once again. Yeah. Cowboys saying can't wait for Friday. He's got that taste of Raptors preseason. He wants to see more. Wednesday Wizards. Yeah, we got Wednesday Washington Wizards on Friday. That's right. Shaq Lindsay saying if we don't cut Flynn, then Garrett Temple needs to be cut. Otto's more skilled vet than Thad. Otto is a keeper because he can stretch the floor and he's a good passer. Well, we got to see it show up in some ways. Sometimes these management decisions are made for really weird reasons that we don't even understand. So, we may never know. Cowboys saying later, Lex, bam. And the Raptor freaks have a blessed and safe day. Let's go Raptors and let's grow Flynn. Yeah, let's see what he does. G saying Flynn missing shots was one thing, but I was very bothered by him not running on defense. He let players get by him easily. I wonder if he gets in his head. I want him to do well. I want him to do well too. It's not like David. It's not like we want to bash Malachi. It's just if he's not performing, he's not playing well, we're going to bash him. You know, that's just how it is. He was the worst player for the Raptors last night. And G's exactly right. There were a lot of issues with him in different ways. And I do think he gets in his head. I think that he misses one shot and it does mess him up for the next shot. In some ways, Grady and Gary are these guys that just kind of have a short memory. They miss like 5 shots. They're going to make the next one still in their head. I feel like Malachi's keeping track of how well he's doing, and it does fuck him up. If he starts spiraling out of control, he has one thing go wrong, it gets in his head a little bit, Then he has another thing go wrong. And then it's like, holy crap, I'm having a shitty game and I'm aware of it. And then it's just getting shittier and shittier. I think that is a problem with him, that he does get in his head and he does let mistakes fuck him up. And that's one of the things that Darko and Jakob were saying is like, we've got to get better about, if you make a mistake, just move on and move forward and try not to make more mistakes. You got to have a short memory in the NBA. And in some ways, Malachi's not showing a short memory. I think he is getting in his head. I think he is. Cowboys saying 2 points, 2 points for Malachi last night, and that's it. Shaq Lindsay saying, no, Jakob, no problem. Chicago, blame the fouls all you want. Well, we were earning them. We were getting in there and getting physical. We deserved those foul shots. Yeah, I love Cowboys got a parade of Darkos out there. Shaq saying, Flynn's still looking lost. Don't know if he should shoot, pass, or turn over the ball. Cowboys saying, Wagwan, me gone. Okay. Wayne saying, what's fantastic is winning without exhausting OG. He works so hard. I'm happy when we win without compromising him. He's truly our secret weapon. Our isolation play was needed at that time, and it worked. I'm just interested to see if our way of rotating guys and not overplaying minutes really comes to like losing stretches in the middle of the season where our guys are just absolutely no good with energy because we just wore them out. It's like you wore your battery all the way out on your laptop. And in some ways, you don't want to do that. You want to like keep charging it up. So like the less wear and tear game to game for Pascal and OG is very good for the long term of the season. And maybe like for things like what we worried about with DeMar and Kyle back in the day with Dwayne Casey, you play them so much during the regular season, they're injured and hurt at the end of the year and no good in the playoffs. Well, that's part of the long marathon of the NBA season. We can take care of the health of our guys by not overusing them like Nick did last year. We should see better health and energy outcomes in different periods of the year, especially when there's like long stretches where everybody's kind of getting tired. It's like in the middle of the season and there's a drop off in play because people are just tired in the middle of the season. Well, maybe because of the way we're doing things, that won't hurt us as much this year. And especially at the end of the year when we're making our stretch run, maybe we'll be in better shape. Partly because we had more resting throughout the whole year. That's always made sense to me, and it pissed me off the way Nick was running our team and not thinking about this. Cowboys saying alley-oop to Lex. Okay, you want to give me an alley-oop. All right, that's fine. Let me see. Where am I? Here am I. There I go. I got a dunk today. All right. I like it. Let's see. Mo's saying, I've been up since 8:30. I booked my ride for the season opener, and I'm ready. Boy, am I ready. All right, Monique. Yeah, going to the Minnesota Timberwolves, the McDaniels Cup. Jalen versus Jaden McDaniels in the first game of the season. And the McDaniels family will be in attendance in the Scotiabank Arena. Jalen McDaniels talking the other day about how his parents make a big deal out of when the two brothers play each other. They've made it to every single game where they play each other, except for a couple. But yeah, in some ways, he doesn't really care because he's playing his brother. They've done that many times already. But it is fun in some ways for the parents of the McDaniels to come and watch their two sons have a battle. Toronto versus Minnesota opening night next Wednesday, a week from tonight. That's right. The season's here in a week from tonight, y'all. That's right. Monique booking her ride to get down there. Yeah, CountryCon saying, good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lex, after last night's game, I was excited and decided to watch You-Know-Who's stream. I was quickly reminded how negative our fan base is. Even here, we all hate on Malachi. To me, it's really sad. You know, and we're not all hating on him. David's standing up for him. In some ways, it's not that we're hating on him. We're being constructively critical. And I think it's fair. I think it is fair. The opportunities there was multiple failures last night. And in some ways, okay, maybe we shouldn't be pointing them out. But in some ways, people say I'm too overly positive and I'm told so unfairly just positive that in some ways I have to be fair and point out when things are not exactly right. And this is a point that we're making today. And I think it's absolutely justified. And listen, I don't know if our negativity here compares to the negativity on He Who Shall Not Be Named stuff, but hopefully it's not the same. I don't know. All right, I'm going to see what David said in this message. Fred looked hopeless for the entire season. He shot 3 of 27 in one game. What on earth? Okay, that was last year, and sometimes the body of work matters. The body of work matters. Paul's saying, great win last night. So excited to see this team at full strength. Awesome. Paul B holding it down for Raptor Freak Nation in the state of Wisconsin, in Bucks territory. Paul is in enemy territory for us. We love you, Paul. Great to see you here. Country Con saying, last season we worked overtime defending guys like Fred tooth and nail. Why? Because he was a Raptor. I respected that. But now we're holding pitchforks for Malachi or for Jeff Dowtin Jr. It's just sad, Lex. Well, once again, Country Con, let me just explain. This time of year is the time to make cuts. And in some ways, once again, the Raptors fan nation can have a say in some of this. They probably do put their ear to the social media and listening to things. There may be one person in their organization sitting here watching us right now just to have a pulse on what we're saying here. And in some ways, if we want to have an influence on this, well, this is the time to espouse our opinion because it's training camp and they're going to make decisions with the roster. I don't like bashing these guys in the middle of the season unless it's, to try and be constructive and help their game. So this is very much the right time for this kind of criticism and analyzing who's on the team and who isn't going to be on it, because that's the decisions they're making. So does that make any sense? That I have a green light for doing this kind of stuff right now because it's preseason and it's training camp and they got to make those decisions is basically what it is. Hugh's here. Good to see Hugh. It's been a little bit. Good to see Raptor Freak Hugh. Really like the Raptors look this season. Vibe seems different in a good way. Yeah, I think it's refreshing. And in some ways, it may really have a lot more enjoyable entertainment to it than last year. Last year was tough. It was painful at times. It was very painful and tough to watch. This year, I'm hoping the product will be a lot more entertaining and a lot more positive and a lot more fun. And it already is. I think you're right, Hugh. Carlos here. Good to see Carlo JS. Hey, fellow freaks, I have a question. If we can only keep two of the three, Pascal, OG, and Scottie, who do we let go and why? I don't like doing these kind of questions. In some ways, that's above my pay grade. I'm going to do what Pascal says. That's not my job. That's not my job to figure out, Carlo. That's the front office's job. My job is to do a stream every day as a fan and talk about the team. And I'm glad I don't get paid, and I do that. That's a tough decision to make, and I don't want to be the one to make that decision. So I'm not going to answer that question. I'm going to take the answer just like Darko, just like Pascal said. That's not my job description. I don't make that decision. I'm sorry. I just don't. Hugh's saying, let go of OG due to his contract situation. That could be very well the right answer to that question, but I'm not going to answer it. Let's see. Mo's saying, Paul, your thoughts on Chris Boucher yesterday in the Facebook chat turned me off. Really did. No, I think that he was saying something good about Chris, that he's going to blow up and be really good and see become even better. So, and I agree with him to a degree, but not in the way that he thinks. He was saying that he's going to be like in Tampa. No, Tampa's a special season for Chris. They needed him more, and he got to score more because of that. No, Chris is going to double down more on being the role player he is already. You'll see him maybe have really good rebounding games and maybe from time to time a good scoring game. But he's not going to make a leap as a player overall, game to game, like to another level at this point. No, he's a role player off the bench. He does what he does. He's really good at it. He needs to double down and do even more of it because that'll keep him in the league and very valuable. So Wayne's saying, it brings me no joy to stop advocating for Malachi, but not at the expense of somebody who has shown ability to lead competently. We can't take everybody to the next championship. I like Malachi. Yeah. In some ways, look, I like Malachi too, and I want him to be successful. And I'm still open to the possibility that he's going to be successful. It's just in some ways I'm getting sick of his shit also is basically it. So there's two ways to look at this. Once again, I'm not making this decision. Bobby and Messiah and them are going to. And if Malachi's on this team, I'll support him and be wanting him to be successful and kick ass. It's not like I'm going to be upset and raise a stink if he's still on the team or be upset like some Raptor fans might be, little crybabies when they don't get what they want. No, I'll be like, okay, this is what they wanted. We keep them. We keep going. But in some ways, if I have any influence on this, I'm advocating for Jeffrey Dowtin Jr. instead, even if it's not totally right for the books and guaranteed and non-guaranteed money. I still think that's the right decision. And in some ways, if they hear us, then they get anything. Well, the Raptor freaks think that Jeff's our guy, not Malachi. If that has any bearing on them making the decision, I want to be heard from my voice in the honest way. And that's how I feel. Let's see. G saying Flynn may have developed some bad habits under the nurse system. David could have a point. Masai did say he regretted letting O'Shea go before he got better. Let's see what Darko does with Flynn. I'm okay with this. I'm okay with letting O'Shea Brissett go too. In some ways, people say, "Oh, that's a fail." Who gives a fuck? It's still just O'Shea Brissett. And in some ways, we would say the same damn thing if Malachi walked too. Like, honestly, y'all worry about Delano Banton, Justin Champagnie, O'Shea Brissett, all these motherfuckers way too much than you should. O'Shea Brissett made that leap in Indiana because he had more minutes and he was allowed to play more. He may have gotten that leap with us, and he may have been very good to keep on, but it didn't happen that way. So what? It's not like O'Shea Brissett is like a needle pusher that's so fucking important to be upset about. Neither is Delano Banton. Neither is Justin Champagnie. None of those motherfuckers are. And Malachi, if he left our team, wouldn't be either. I'm not afraid of him coming back like DJ Augustin and trying to kill us or something like that. I'm just not. All right, let's see. What did David say? We should have traded Fred for a bag of peanuts. See, he's really hating Fred today. There's no reason to do that, David. There's really no reason. Trevor's saying Chris Webber said Dennis is a better player than Fred. I agree with that. Fiercey saying that Cowboy is our alley-oop leader. Yeah, he is for sure. All right, let's see what David said, even though I'm deleting it. Saying, gee, thank you. The stream was strange. Starting to remind me of Clown Boy's stream talking about Fred and Pascal last season. This is a totally different thing. Totally different thing, David. I'm very insulted that you think that we are starting to sound like Pensera here. Listen, I'd much rather talk about the positives and the good things the Raptors did last night. But in some ways, people want to talk about the negatives too. And that is the negative from last night. And that's just fair. There's nothing unfair about what we're saying. I didn't call anybody a munchkin, by the way. You were way more out of pocket. I'm not putting down Malachi with insults or personal opinions about his appearance. In some ways, you're really out of pocket with how you're coming at Fred, and it's not necessary. It's so unuseful energy. It's not useful what you're doing. And the stuff about Malachi is very fair. And we're talking about his game. We're not talking about the person. We're not talking about the personality. We're talking about his game. And that is fair to do. Top of Top saying, O'Shea was only here for a little bit. This is Flynn's fourth season. Moving O'Shea was regrettable. Why are we still making excuses for Flynn? At some point, your ball strikes have to shine through. Ball skills have to shine through. I agree with this. In some ways, I haven't seen the jumping up in some ways as much as I'd like to. I see the progress. I see some of the things that he's gotten better with. I see the more muscle on him. But it's not translating to, success on the court. And that's what I'm worried about. Click's here. Let's go. Good to see Click, one of the original Raptor freaks. Always good to see everybody showing up from back in the day. We've gotten a lot of names. Different names in the stream this morning. I appreciate everybody checking in and saying hi. G saying, Cowboy, what is going on to take? What is it going to take to get an alley-oop from you? I'm tired of playing ISO. G, you know what? Just for calling it out, you don't need an alley-oop from him. You're getting a dunk just for calling it out like that. You know what? I'm surprised. G only has 3 dunks. This is ridiculous. I should start giving G dunks for intelligence. I really should. Randolph saying, Lex, Malachi is making it easy for the front office to make cuts. Thad had his pocket picked twice and caused us to lose the lead. Yeah, I mean, Thad wasn't totally good last night either. I'll say that. You want me to pick apart Thad for a little bit just to show that I'm an equal opportunity pick aparter? Thad had some bad turnovers. He had 3 turnovers in 11 minutes, 6 points. He was a minus 13. He was the worst plus minus on our team. He did make all 4 of his free throws, which I really was happy about, honestly. In some ways, that's why I'm not coming after Thad, because he's not always a good free throw shooter. And last night was a special case of really the screaming DRs, and he made all 4 of his free throws. So I was super impressed with that. And then the fact also that he had to get thrown into the game right, like 2 minutes in the game because Chris got such early foul trouble. And he came out and he wasn't that great either as a center and trying to guard Vucevic. But at least we had that veteran of some sort out there to do some sort of things for us. But in some ways, Thaddeus wasn't that great yesterday either. The turnovers were bad, but the free throws, awesome. Very, very good. Very, 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 very good. Let's see. G saying, Top, I hear you. He has been with us for a bit, and last night I was not impressed, but he was here under Nurse, just trying to see how the front office might be looking at it. Yeah, well, we'll see. Like I said, he's had a very good game against Carnes Taipans. He had an okay game in the first game against Kings, and now he's had an absolute shit-the-bed game last night. Seymour saying, thought we'd win by more, but it's preseason and a win is a win. Let's go, Raptors. Yeah, I'm glad we won the way we did. I didn't think we'd win by more. Y'all were saying double-digit win last night. You were saying like 11-point win, 13-point win. Well, it was a 4-point win. I'll live with it. W is all that matters. And I love the way we won with our bench at the end of the game. That is a very cool development trust right there. Let's see. David's saying he has 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and a block. He missed some shots he should have hit. Get over it. He missed all 7 of his shots, and some of them were open. You want me to get over it? Well, me talking about it on my stream is how I get over it. So there you go. Let's see. David's also saying, you never judge Fred objectively. Flynn had not had time. My God. He's had tons of time. He's been working behind the scenes. He's getting his chance to shine, and he's failing. And that's just the damn truth, David. I judged Fred pretty harshly last year at times too, but I tried to be fair, and I also stood up for him against other people. That's totally true. That's totally true. Let's see. And then, oh yeah, 1 turnover. Yeah, whatever. He's still, what? All right, David, come on. You really want to pick this hill to climb on? Really? He's a -3 with 0 for 7. -3 for 0 for 7, 2 points in what? 20 minutes. I'm looking at points per minute too. 2 points in 20 minutes is absolute garbage. Yeah, Seymour saying, big up David with the Wagwan. Top saying, Gary is an average athlete in the NBA compared to others. Compared to us, he's a great athlete, but he's not playing us. I'd rather he pitch the ball ahead on fast breaks or give it to our big wings. I think what he's doing on the fast break is fine. It's just he's daring. Like in some ways, it's dangerous what he's doing. And getting hit in the air like that, I worry about him. I don't think what he's doing is wrong. I think the person coming after him is dirty for undercutting him, is basically what I've been saying. He makes those quite often, even with the guy hitting him late like that. It's just one time it's going to be dangerous. And I don't want to see him get hurt just because somebody's playing a Bush League cheap-ass play, like Rico Hines would call at his runs. That's a Bush League play, to undercut somebody going up the basket like that. If you have a clean chance to block it, like Torrey Craig did, in some ways that's fine. But a lot of times these guys are coming at him when he's on the break, and they have no play on the ball. They're just undercutting him. And that's the shit that I don't like. CountryCon saying, I'm just saying this is about this is a slippery slope. To me, it's better to talk about how we won. None of our players are perfect. Started as a good analyst. He found success bashing Fred in his lowlights. Well, I'm not trying to find success on this channel by bashing Malachi. I want to praise him. But once again, I get bashed for being too positive. I have to show that I can be critical. Do you guys understand that? That if I just was like totally positive all the time, people probably would be like, this guy's fucked up. In some ways, it's not exactly right. So I try to be like 95% positive, and maybe there's 5% of me that's critical or negative at times. I'd say that's pretty good. And once again, it's about basketball stuff. It's not about being a munchkin. It's not about because I hate him and I want to punch him in the face like David is right now. It's about I like Malachi. I want Malachi to be better, but he's not showing it. And we just have to be honest. I'm not putting him down. I want him to be successful. I've said that many, many times, but he's not. And that's just the damn truth. And y'all can say, oh, you're being too hard on him. Oh, you're not being a real fan. No, I am, because in some ways I want the team to be good, and I don't think the team would be better with Malachi instead of Jeffrey Dowtin. And that's just my opinion. Y'all can have a different opinion. A lot of y'all have the same opinion as me, but if you don't have that same opinion, I'll allow for it. That's fine. Let's just see the GMs do their job, and we'll see how it happens. There you go. Mo's saying, W Stream Lex, keep at it always. Good times, good times. Go Raptors. I love it, Mo. Thank you for the cutoff. Thank you for the cutoff. That's right. Top saying, I agree, Lex. All these new fans don't know how hard it is to win a chip. Day ones know how bad it can get. And that's why we just want unselfish, competitive ball. That environment will help develop youngins. Yep. We got to do things right. And we do things right, we'll get the second championship. That's right. I'm going to read David even though. He's saying, all right, I'm standing on the hill because you buggers are hypocrites. I say one thing about Ron Harper and everyone has a shit fit. I saw something about Fred. Y'all go berserk. But we're still roasting one of our blah, blah, blah. I don't even know why you're bringing Fred's stuff in here. We don't need to see Fred. We don't need to see Fred. Why are you looking up Fred's old box scores? David, seriously. Oh, my gosh. Why are you so upset this morning? Have you eaten breakfast yet? Did you not sleep well last night? Were you drinking a lot last night? Seriously. In some ways, I worry about you for that. Like, you could be hungover right now, and that may be tainting your line of thinking right now. Seriously, I think it is. Maybe you need some water. Let's just put it that way. Fred doesn't play for our team anymore. I don't care about Fred's stats. I don't. You can bash Ron Harper. I've heard you bashing Ron Harper, and you're not the only one. Go ahead, bash Ron Harper. I don't disagree with you saying things like, oh, Ron's not doing enough. In some ways, we're right, though, that he hasn't gotten enough chances like Malachi has. So there's differences here. Come on, David. Seriously, you need a shower. Do you need a shower or do you need some more sleep is what I'm wondering right now. Mugabe saying, good morning, Lex, Raptor Freaks. Lex, please don't listen to them dumb fans talking about championship is our standard. I would block that fool. Mugabe Lennon, I love you, man. A great Canadian success story. We love Mugabe. I'm going to give Mugabe a dunk for coming in and being saying what he's saying right now. I love that, Mugabe. You got your second dunk. I love that. Tom Duke saying, aha, I'm 100% with David. Have a great day, everyone. You're with David on this one, Tom? Okay, fine. Listen, y'all can judge me and be upset with me for bashing Malachi. I'll stand on this hill. He was 0 for 7. He did not look good. In some ways, he pissed me off, and that's just fine. We can have differences of opinions. Tom saying, let's go Raptors. Mugabe saying, Lex, what about them haters that say Pascal and Scottie can't be together? Yeah. Well, they were proven wrong last night, Mugabe, that's for sure. And David's saying, I can see the difference. Can you see that Flynn hasn't had a fucking chance to do anything? Yes, he has, David. David, you've watched this team for a few years, right? David, have you watched this team for a few years? Have you watched Tampa? Did you watch the Tampa year? That was his rookie year. He played a lot in that Tampa year. He had many chances in that Tampa year. Yeah, he showed the same shit. Okay, the next year, the year was Scottie's rookie year. He got to play at times because Fred got hurt. What happened? He showed good stuff, but then he got hurt himself. You know, there were times where he did look good and successful, but he's never gotten it going. In some ways, we want realistic stuff. You can say in theory, oh, he looks good. He's going to be so good. But if it doesn't realistically happen on the court for some whatever reason, well, it's just not adding up to what we're supposed to be getting from him. So he's had lots of chances, trust me. In fact, he's gotten way more chances than some of the guys on the bench. They deserve the chances too. Seriously, I felt like some of the chances Malachi was getting last season under Nick should have gone to Jeffrey. Seriously, I could say that, and that I think I'm right. He's gotten a lot of chances. Dave, you don't think Malachi Flynn's gotten chances in the 3 years he's already played for us? No, come on, man. Malachi's gotten all the chances. A lot of chances. Seriously. Yeah. He's going to say, I'll save it and y'all can eat it in a month. Well, all right, listen. David, you really want to take the Malachi hit Flynn, stand on that hill? All right, listen. If Malachi ends up being something amazing this year, I'll be like, oh my gosh, David and Tom were right. But otherwise, I'm going to be like, y'all are fucking whatever. Seriously, David, why are you making this so personal today? In some ways, that's fucking bullshit in itself. Like, we don't do that here. In some ways, I feel like you're making it very personal with me. And I don't like that. I seriously don't like that kind of energy from you. So I would like to ask you to be a little bit more in line with like how we do things on this channel. And in some ways, we're not doing personal attacks. Seriously. Because I do feel personally attacked by you today. And that's not, I don't usually feel that from regulars on this channel. Let's just put it that way. Let's see. Wayne's saying no strike for David. He's advocating. We all need an advocate at times. I'm fine with it, but I don't mind him advocating for Malachi. It's the downgrading and coming at Fred for no reason. There's no reason to do that. And there's no reason to bring Fred up. Seriously. I told y'all, if y'all keep bringing up Fred in these kind of ways, there's no reason to do this. He's the past. And we're moving forward. Country Kong saying, so we're turning into armchair GMs. Interesting. Fred very much deserved criticism that we protected him from. Masai and Bobby don't read these comments. It's interesting this happened after a win. Well, I don't understand why David's being so negative today. Honestly, he thinks we're being negative, but we're not. We're just celebrating the win. And in some ways, we talk way more about Malachi, partly because of David. Fucking David and his bullshit today. I mean, seriously. All right, Kareem's saying, we're not bashing Flynn. It is the fucking fact that Jeff Dowtin is and has shown reasons to be on this team, made the best player win the position. But this isn't a slight to Flynn. This is praise for a Jeff Dowtin Jr. I am with Kareem Thomas 100% on this one. Tom can line up with David on this. I'm with Kareem. And this is what we're trying to say to y'all. We like Jeffrey Dowtin better than Flynn, and we want him on our team better. You guys can be Camp Flynn if you want. We'll be Camp Dowtin. And until this gets resolved, and we probably will lose Camp Dowtin. But that's part of why we're so vociferously arguing for Jeffrey, is because we really think he's the better choice. And so, excuse me for being passionate and saying that I want Jeffrey Dowtin Jr. on this team over Malachi Flynn. That's just the damn truth. My opinion is that. And I may not get what I want, but I'm not going to act like a baby if I don't. I'll just be like, okay, Messiah and Bobby decide this. And I'm not the GM, so I'm not upset about it. But before it happens, sure, I can espouse my opinion. And Kareem Thomas sees it, and he's in the same place as me. We're not trying to just dump on Malachi, y'all. But in some ways, we want Jeff, is what we want. Seriously. Hugh saying Malachi has pretty much proven nothing in the minutes he's played. Even in the G League, his field goal percentage is under 35, and his three-point shooting is abysmal. Hasn't shown improvement, to be honest. I'm totally with you. This man is supposed to be one of our best three-point shooters. He's one of the worst three-point shooters on our team. And you could say I'm just bashing Malachi for no reason, but this is his track record. This is his history over 3 years. It's just the damn truth. And you don't want to see it. You want to be blind to it. Fine. And this has nothing to do with Fred. Once again, Hugh's saying he was useful for his activity and ball handling last night, but almost cost us the game with his shooting. Maybe we need a greater sample size under Darko to see if he can change for the better. Yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Kenny saying Flynn was mentored by Fred. Laugh out loud. He has to unlearn all that real quick. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. And Hughes saying also, old man that had Thad had to tussle with Drummond and Vooch. Can't blame him too much. We played without a center last night. Yeah, I actually respect Thad for being in there mixing it up. Same for Chris Boucher. In some ways, there's a lot of disadvantages in that. And I can read that. Top saying, I was one of the most outspoken people against Fred, moving Fred, and he was a champion that had reached his expiration with us. Flynn has gotten so much opportunity at the expense of cutting others. Yeah. Top saying, I have to ride with Lex on this one, and we have butted heads plenty in the past. We can give players a chance, but we don't have to go all the way with chances all the time. It makes no sense. Yeah. I mean, if y'all are worried about Malachi getting to a new level as soon as we trade him, well, in some ways, that just portends that he's in the wrong situation. Monique said it earlier. She feels like Malachi Flynn would be great in the Golden State Warriors team because of their system. It could very well be he's not the right fit for our team. Once again, we drafted him with the replacement of Fred in mind, but in some ways, we've realized we don't need a Fred on our team. We don't need an undersized guard. We've got Scottie. We've got bigger players that can be playmakers. So this is another reason why I'm not too big on keeping Flynn, because in some ways, when we drafted him, we had a whole other idea for what our team was going to be, and that's changed in the 3 years since we drafted him. So, I mean, this is totally true. Top and I have really butted heads in the last year or so, and see, we can find places to agree on in this place. It's really weird today. Normally, I don't butt heads with David like this, and it's really kind of a weird situation with him. I'm wondering what's going on with him this morning. Hey, I paid your brother for the ticket, bro. You shouldn't be mad at me like that. Seriously. Country Con saying Flynn made his free throws too. Thad was saved from the stake today because he went 4 for 4. The Bulls did not want to lose at home yesterday. It was a very big win. It's not like we have a bunch of point guards. We do, though. We do have a bunch of point guards, though. It doesn't seem like we do, but we do. We have a bunch of forwards that can be point guards. So in some ways, Flynn is like extraneous. Let's just put it that way. All right. I think that was saved because in some ways, Thad's a worse free throw shooter. And I've seen him shoot really badly at free throws, and he really made sure he made those last night. In particular, I watch him. Him and Jakob are two of the people that I worry about at the free throw line. And when he makes 4 for 4, that's an achievement. Honestly, that is an achievement. And the Bulls didn't want to lose at home, and they did, though. All right, this is something we need to talk about. Darko his mentor is Billy Donovan, and that's kind of convenient and interesting that they faced each other so early in this preseason. And in some ways, Billy Donovan may be hoping that Darko's successful because he comes from his coaching tree, and he's somebody who's a good friend of his. They are very close. Darko was an assistant coach for him for 4 years. So they know each other really, really well. So in some ways, there was a master versus the student kind of matchup last night. And, Billy Donovan knows Darko, and Darko knows Billy Donovan. So there was a little bit of that going on last night on the down low, which was very interesting about things too there. Let's see. Tom Duke saying, would there not be any chance of keeping both Flynn and Dowtin? I like them both. I mean, there is that chance, Tom. I mean, it could work out that way, but I don't know. I don't know how it's going to work out. We're just going to have to wait and see. In some ways, all this anger and stupidness this morning is unnecessary because it's all going to get worked out in a certain way anyway. This is just an opinion forum. We're reacting to the game. And if we have different reactions, we should allow for them. And we shouldn't have so much anger towards people about it. I really feel like David's overly angry this morning, and I don't get it. I don't get why. It's not even have to do anything with us. It has to do with something else, I'm sure. Hughes saying it's pretty laughable to compare Fred with Malachi. Fred started his journey on the bench and was one of the best coming off of it, and then got a championship. Malachi not even close. Look, if we're going to compare Fred to Malachi, Fred at this point in his going into his fourth season, he was already on the team from coming from the G League. So yeah, he made steps and progress already in the first 3 years of his career to get to where he was, and Malachi has not done that. I'm sorry. Tom saying, guess we shall see and embrace the decisions coming up. Well, the writing's on the wall. Malachi's going to be on the team. He's going to be on the team. But I feel like it's an injustice if it's to the detriment of Jeff Dowtin Jr. I'm on the books for that. I'm on the record for this. I have this opinion, and it's just my opinion. And we'll see what happens. Top saying, other players like Dowtin, Javon, or other young guards who may be on other teams or in G League deserve an opportunity. 4 years and the fan base is torn on him staying. That means he's got to go. In some ways, I agree with this. I mean, I don't know how much we've invested in him that really matters. I really don't. I mean, I just don't see it translate enough on the court. Kareem saying, can we cut all the bullshit and just agree that Scottie and Pascal need to train with each other in the offseason? I love it, Kareem. I love it. And Country Con saying, W stream, Lex. Disagreements and all. Love the passion of the Raptor Freak family. Lex, for what it's worth, I would stick with you even if you were positive all the time. It's what brought me here. I respect that, Country Con. I respect that. Seriously, we're not going to agree on all times. I love David so much. But today I kind of hate you, man. The energy you brought towards me was not cool. But listen, I love you, man. And in some ways, I appreciate you respecting and standing up for Malachi even when we aren't. We need somebody to do that. But in some ways, I don't like you making personal attacks on the other side. And in some ways, Fred doesn't need to be dragged into this. We're speaking specifically about Malachi Flynn. And that's that. Tom saying, yep, me too. I love you guys. Seriously, that's what matters. And this is the thing. We need to have a healthy discourse. And once again, we shouldn't be denigrating each other, putting each other down. Now, somebody who comes in, I don't know, I call them an idiot. That's something different. But, you guys have been around a long time, and we talk a lot. I don't want to do personal attacks towards you guys. Seriously. And in some ways, I want to be sensitive to that. Seriously. Yeah. Let's see. Fiercely saying, yep, Darko mentioned him and Billy Donovan are friends. Very, very close. Yeah, he's a mentor to him. So in some ways, it's like he gets kicks out of beating him, I'm sure. And, in some ways, he really loved the challenge of beating Billy Donovan, I'm sure. Hugh saying Malachi was supposed to be one of the best pick and roll point guards out of his draft class. Plus, he was a defensive player of the year in college, but we haven't seen any of that in the league. Some players just don't translate. Yeah, I think you're right. In some ways, that's what I've speculated, that he may be a great pro-am player. He may be a great college player, but he may not be a great NBA player. And that's just the damn truth. It just happens to players. They find out where they ceiling out. You may be like, the thing that gets me about Malachi is he's supposed to be a flamethrower. Scottie called him that himself on Saturday in his Twitch. Well, where's the flame? Where's the throwing the flame through the hoop? I can see Grady's a flamethrower, and he's barely showed up. I can tell Grady, I can count on Grady to make threes when he's open. Malachi should be the same fucking way if he's as advertised as what he's supposed to be. I should have more confidence in him to make threes than Grady Dick at this point, but I don't. Does that tell you something right there? Grady Dick has played 3 preseason games and a summer league, and I trust him with 3-point shots more than Malachi. That says enough right there. Right there. Evelyn saying, I skipped 2 of your messages. What did you say, Evelyn? What did you say? Where did I skip you? There's so much in the chat. And sometimes when I miss messages, if I go back, it's going to be really far back. Evelyn, you're way, way back there. Like, I don't see any of these messages. Are you sure they went through? Did Prince Toussaint send these messages? I love your therapy, dog. Prince Toussaint. I don't see you, Evelyn, anywhere until there. Like, you were way, way back when you first came in and we were talking to you at the beginning, but I don't see any more. Paul B saying, it definitely seems like the guys are sharing the ball really well. So many wide open looks. Hopefully the regular season continues just like that. One of the things I'm really happy about with Darko is he's a cerebral tactical coach, so adjustments will be made in the game. We saw a little bit of more intense defensive switching later in the game. The straight up man-to-man defense early, but then if there's some problems with Zach LaVine in the second half, well, maybe he's seeing a double all of a sudden. And that's a new look that he operated without it happening against him. And then all of a sudden, he's seeing a double later in the game. That's good defensive strategy. So really liking how he's doing that. Hugh saying, I'm liking Mahamadou Gueye on the court. Reminds me of Boucher, not just because of his frame, but his activity around the rim. Isn't afraid to dunk it, isn't afraid to go up for the block. Yeah, they're very similar. Although Gueye is more talented than Chris in some ways. He really is. He has a better handle with dribbling the ball, and he's a better three-point shooter than Chris, actually, on the down low. He has a better shot than him. So we'll have to see how things work out. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching me. Even with the disagreements and the little things here, listen, we won. And people should be positive and feeling happy and proud of the Raptors. We're 3-0 in the Darko era in the preseason. I want to keep Darko undefeated for a long time. This will be fun. I can't wait for the regular season, but we got one more preseason game to go on Friday, Washington Wizards. Tomorrow, Thursday, Think Tank. I'll figure out what the subject is. I may have to steer away from Malachi Flynn for a little while, considering this is such a sensitive topic in some ways. Hugh saying, thanks for the stream, Lex. Good to be back to discussing basketball. I'm glad to see you back, Hugh. Seriously. Seriously, it's so fun to see people leave for the summer because I know it's not as interesting to come here and talk with us, but we do it all summer. But I love seeing when season starts back up, it's like going back to school. It's like back to school. And it's like, hey, I haven't seen you since last May. How was your summer, man? How was your camp? Stuff like that. I get that feeling when I see you guys start coming back. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching me today. Let me just make sure I didn't miss anything. Once again, a great victory by the Raptors. 4-point victory over the Bulls. Trusting the bench at the end of the game to take over and win. A very solid effort by Pascal and Scottie together. 22 points, both of them. Good stuff from Gary, Dennis, Chris, not Chris, but Mogi, Jalen McDaniels. A couple of really good bright spots in that game for sure. So yeah, good stuff coming up for the Raptors. Let's just stay positive. And I'm seriously, just because I'm down on Flynn doesn't mean I'm not a positive, good Raptor freak still. It's just I have my eyes wide open and I'm watching the game. Fiercely saying, Delano to the Celtics, he seems to get better and has more opportunities so far. Maybe indeed Malachi would benefit more on another team. We'll see what happens after the 4th preseason game. Sometimes it really is fit. In some ways, Fred didn't fit our team at all. So why should Malachi? Delano in some ways didn't have a spot, and he may flourish on the Celtics. It doesn't mean, we in some ways it's fit. It's just fit, y'all. And that's what we got to realize. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching me. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And join if you want. The membership has its privileges. Trust me, it does. I do quick reactions after the game to the members only. They get to watch me do like little couple minutes reactions right after the game ends. But it's a lot of the same stuff. I'll stay here anyway. But if you want that stuff, join the channel. You get access to extra content. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching me. And stay positive. I am positive. I'm just being critical of Mr. Malachi. That's all. All right, y'all. Be back tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Thursday Think Tank. Let's go, Raptors freaks. Let's go, Raptors. Let's win, and 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 win. And Isaac Campbell win, and win, and win,